Well, I mean, I pressed the button. I don't know if the button worked.
Now it's
Yeah,
happening.
Oh, the button worked.
Ooh.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good, bad. I'm the guy with the mic.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Quit kidding around. Snake?
Zug Zug, Zug Zug.
Snake!
Well, welcome to Padded Cell. We have no idea what's happening, and that's normal.
Zug Zug, Zug Zug.
Because you know what, Raz, you forgot to put up the overlay before we went live, so.
Oh yeah. But you know what? I did the videos pretty damn flawlessly though for the first time ever. So you know, give and take.
You did. It was a effort going into that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. There was some definite effort going into that.
Sorry guys, I'm excited. I'm like, I got all the video game sounds. I can't play video games because I have an addictive personality, so I had to quit because it was either that or death, I think, pretty much. I play 14 hours a day when I'm playing, so it's like, oh, yeah.
She has Pac-Man fever.
Yeah, it's a cake or death situation, but please choose death because we're running out of cake.
Demetrius
how's it going, brother?
So yeah, we were talking about we're doing a padded cell. How's everybody doing? I just decided video games tonight because why the fuck not? And we don't have to stay on it. It's just,
oh yeah. There's a lot of stuff we're gonna be talking about tonight, but it's good to have a central topic of conversation.
I do video games.
Sure.
I might have played one or two twice in my day.
Yes, Jenny.
Belated happy arrow to the knee day, Raz.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
used to be an adventurer like you, and I took an arrow in the knee.
That's about right.
Sorry, guys. Those of you who are watching, deal. I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
I ran out of room to upload the pics, so you don't have to put up with all of my pics for all the games that I play because I put in sounds instead.
And if you're not familiar with this particular show, The Padded Cell, on the Elliott Network, this is a show where we do whatever the hell we want, when we want to, and it does or does not make sense. That is not our concern. It's kind of our blow-off show where we have fun, but we also talk about mental health issues and just, it's good to de-stress with friends, you know? So that's what The Padded Cell is all about.
So, Del, would you say that was a sound decision?
That's some Final Fantasy 7 shit right there.
There you. Oh my god, I'm so proud of my boy.
Dude, I'm gonna probably recognize the majority of sounds you play.
Achievement unlocked.
You forget that I'm an enormous gamer.
Hey, this is still one of my favorites.
Me not that kind of orc. Me not that kind of orc.
You
are that.
Ron did the sound effects for World of Warcraft Orc Peons.
He did.
Oh my god.
I miss the original I miss the original Warcraft, you know.
Warrior needs food badly. Warrior is about to die.
One of the things that I had loaded is like gone. I'm sad.
Hey.
Yeah. that was one of the ones I think I was gonna put in the list of stuff, but I couldn't find it.
There's only so much room.
There is, sadly. I can't have
Oh,
all the nice things.
I have a Mario Sun if I can remember what it is on the board, because there's one I did that just turned out to be Mario, and I don't remember what it was called now.
Just keep on pressing the buttons, you'll find it.
Oh no, because we all know there's some weird shit on here, man. Oh, it was called Mary. Yeah, that's what it was. It's titled Mary for some reason. Mario.
Mary Mo. She's a vegetarian.
You spoony bard. Is that Bard's tail?
You spoony bard.
You're a spoony bard.
Hello, adventurer.
I didn't get the first one that I got. This is one of my before I played World of Warcraft, and then I played Shia for a while, and I'd played the old Warhammer 40k stuff before that.
Yeah.
And that's Dakka 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 Dakka.
Yeah.
And it's like another Warhammer.
Do you hear the voices too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is what got me started on it, the title of this episode. But I had a character who was a hunter, and I named her Dakka. And so she was Dakka 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 Dakka. And then I made a healer, and I named her Dakta. So, yeah, I was pretty clever. And then I became a GS on that game. So
very nice.
Do you like to play Dakta?
I did.
Warhammer 40k.
Yeah, Dakta ended up becoming a GS, and she had a whole page for a game stage where I worked with between the players and the GMs and stuff, and helped everybody out and stuff. And I had my own blogs explaining how to play the games and stuff like that. So Dakta actually had a legend going on. I married people and stuff.
How many people did you marry?
Held events, did trivia stuff. I married one couple 3 times, and it was like long, serious marriages.
They must have really enjoyed getting married.
Yeah, well, they wanted to be able to do
honeymoon the best.
Wedding, and then different people coming in, and like they had me do I'm not going to remember it, but the greatest of these is love quote from it's a Corinthians thing or whatever, I think.
What is love?
I had this huge script that I'd have to like figure out how much would fit in before it would cut off, find good cutoff points, and like things.
True love. Now it is what brings us together today.
I did one of my characters on an AOL RP. Like for some reason, like anytime there'd be a big ceremony, they'd be like, "Can you write it and like have your character perform it? Because you're really good." I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
Well, see, I was a GS, and that character was a priest, so it was like, you should do these. I'm like, okay, so I could like try to stop people from from like crashing the wedding and killing everybody and stuff, and then but there were a lot of things where, do you take this tank to heal him and to protect him and all this stuff, and do you promise to be her shield? And it was amazing how many female healers and male DPS there were, or tanks, either or there were, that you'd have to do that. They all wanted that kind of a wedding. And then it's like, I now pronounce you noob and noobette. You may kill your bride. We had a thing in Hyrule. We played Forsaken World. That was another game. And if you'd go through, there was a wedding reception. If you bought the dresses and the rings and did everything, they would give you this extra procession. It would like have all the NPCs move out, and there would be flower girls, and it would walk you through town. And there was a huge parade, and so everybody would like put themselves on auto follow and walk and wear nice clothes and follow them through the thing, because that was, like, those games make so much off the microtransactions and stuff just for clothing and just silly shit that doesn't actually affect your gameplay, but everybody wants to have it because they want to be totally cool. So, yeah,
definitely.
So anyway, I just like started us off and started booping noises. How's everybody doing?
Alive.
Pretty good. Now I want to know what Mike's favorite Final Fantasy game is.
Ooh. I'm not a Final Fantasy guy at all. I liked 7 a lot. 8 was decent. For some reason, I just never really quite got the Final Fantasy bug before or after 7 and 8.
I had all of them. I played all of them. I beat all of them up until 10-2. I still have not completed 11. Or not 11, 12, whatever the one that came out after 10-2 that was for console was.
Yeah.
But I got caught up in the side game.
I've seen them all. Most of them have the same. A lot of them have pretty much the same story recycled with different characters.
FF6.
I really
Not
enjoyed.
bad.
I had my SO at the time when we were doing all the Final Fantasy stuff, and he was like, "Oh, you got to collect all these weapons. You have to get the ultimate weapon to beat it, and do all this stuff." But I played, and back when you still could in some of the first games, you could train them in just like punching, like unarmed combat.
Right.
And I wouldn't train a magician. I wouldn't train a healer. I just trained them all to be basically monks, but it wasn't
Right.
class. It was just unarmed combat. So like, I'm going up against Shinra or whatever. I'm just like punching and he's like, "You can't win the game." I'm like, because you said that, I'm gonna do it. And I did.
Oh, yeah.
I beat the whole game just punching everything to death. And you build up enough resistance that you're just like, you don't take the hits to worry about healing outside of taking here or there. So
you just fuck them up. And Michelle's super into Final Fantasy. She's played them all probably a million times, beaten them all, and still cycles through them. And I watch her play them sometimes. I'm more into Suikoden. That's probably my favorite like old school RPG series that is making a comeback from what I understand in the near future.
I am not familiar with that one.
Oh, they're fantastic games, man. You have to go around, meet people like all over the world, and get them to join like your army, and then you always have a base. The first game, it's a castle, and like you actually like you can put shops in the castle, like you build like the castle pretty much from top to bottom. Every time you find someone, they show up and build a place. One of them is the same thing, but it's a boat. It's this giant multi-deck boat, but it's the same kind of setup. But all the games are pretty much like. I think the third one is like a whole kingdom that you're building, just by collecting people and things. But the stories are very well written stories.
Nice. So you said you build a base?
Yeah, and there's a lot of base building in it. You decide where certain shops go, things go. Like some of them, you can grow like your healing herbs, and the one with the ship, you can build. There's a room that you can convert to grow shrooms, basically, that have different kinds of effects, and it's really interesting.
Did you ever invite anybody over and get?
All your days are belong to us.
Well, that was heading. I just didn't want to say anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was trying to help her lead into it by talking about bases. That was the whole segue point.
You know,
I know
it's
she was
all
dying to
about
use
that
it
base. About that base.
Oh, yeah. I had way back in the day on some of the early. God, I think it was Warcraft. No, it might have been Kryn. I can't. It was something when I was still living with my mom, and like there was. I went through and was able to get the sound files, and I put them as my Windows sounds, so that like when you'd open up the window, it would be like, "Say hello to my little friends," and all these different things. But when it would go into sleep mode, it would talk and let you know. But it was like it was a two-headed ogre, and mom was home alone, like watching movies. And all of a sudden, the computer started talking like it had a reboot or something going on. And she starts hearing voices coming from the next room. And they're threatening her because I used like a lot of the like angry quotes and stuff. And she's like, "I didn't know what the fuck to do. I grabbed a flashlight because it was the only thing it was like the best weapon I could come up with. I thought somebody had broken into the house and the phone was all the way in the, this is before we had cell phones, guys."
Oh yeah.
And she had to like cross the room where they were in to get to the phone to dial 911, and she realized that it was the computer. I had to take all my sounds down after that.
I pranked my dad so hard with Windows sounds. I did that to my computers all the time. My dad was a pretty smart guy when it came to electronics, decent with computers, but for some reason, like he could use software, but he couldn't like program the computer. He couldn't really do like a lot of that stuff, and he got so many goddamn viruses on his computer. So I fixed his computer, and I went in and fucked with every one of his sounds. Every single thing he did that made a sound was something that I knew would irritate the shit out of him, including it took like 3 or 4 minutes for him to boot his computer because his opening sound alone, and it was the entire opening in Evil Dead where Professor Kenobi is discussing what the Necronomicon is. Like and he had to go through it, and he's the kind of guy that wouldn't just leave his his PC on. And I'm like, Dad, you should, you don't have to turn it off everything. Yeah, I do. It saves power. I'm like, not that much, Dad. But so he would restart the computer every day, and I had it set up to where it would slide the volume level to max when it would. And we went through me upgrading his computer through 2 or 3 different versions of Windows, and me just telling him, yeah, I don't know what happened. There's something going on with your hard drive, Dad, and these sounds are just locked. He's like, well, I thought upgrading Windows would fix it. I was like, so did I. I don't know what's going on. And finally, the last time, this went on for 14 or 15 years. No joke of me doing this to him. And 3 years before he passed away, I finally admitted to him what the prank was, 15 years later. And he's like, you son of a bitch, get in there and fix it now. So I had to finally go fix all this out.
Good night.
Speaking of Kenobi, this is one of the things where I spent money on this outfit for this person, but this was in my base, guild base. There was a thing with this pillar of light, and they came out with this outfit, and so I had to make this meme for my guild, because you could stand there with this light going up, and she had the little that was the closest to the buttons that I could get, but
yeah,
that was my fun stuff. And then I'll get rid of that one now. So
I can get pretty close to the buttons, but I think we'll get hit for nudity on the show. So
yeah, and this was my number 1 character. It wasn't the one that I played the most, but it was the most popular, and he won awards for this outfit. But this is Bank Tank, the Stone Man.
Nice.
In the Bumblebee costume, riding the Princess Llama who farts glitter, as you can see in the back,
Oh,
with his
Jesus
pet
Christ.
Chicken Boo.
I would call it the armored cock.
And Chicken Boo had a fire attack, so he was a self-frying chicken. But this was my Bank Tank, who I would get requests to have pictures being taken of with him. I was so proud. Okay, done with the Forsaken World stuff there.
Okay.
James, we haven't heard from you yet tonight because we've been just how are you doing?
That good, huh? Wow. Tell us more.
Can't tell if you're on silence or.
He's Silent James today.
So, what other games did you guys play?
Yeah, dude, we'd be here for years to answer that.
That depends on which era you're talking about. Are you talking about the 80s when they had video arcades and all of the old video games of the 80s? Are you talking about console games? Are you talking about PC games? Or
yeah,
what are we talking about here?
Okay, favorite game ever, Commodore 64. Okay, Potty Pigeon. The whole game is about you flying through the air, picking up sticks to make a nest, and you get points for shitting on people in cars, but you get extra bonus points for shitting on other birds. Best game ever made. Potty Pigeon. Still one of my favorites.
Well, I remember when I was in elementary school and we got to play Oregon Trail. Does that count?
Yes. Fucking love that. They have a revamped version of it for the Switch. We got a Switch, and the first thing we fucking bought was Oregon Trail, and they updated it very fucking nicely. They kept true to it and added a bunch of Native American content and all kinds of cool shit. So much cool shit. New player classes even. They went nuts with this game, and it is one of the most fun things I've ever played. Not only the nostalgia, but all the updates are so cool.
That was a good game. It was a very frustrating game because you could do everything right and just die of dysentery. Even if you were well fed, had clean water, and did everything. Yeah. But I think it was a good game for kids to learn because it was life isn't fair.
Wash your hands.
That's true too. That and Lemonade Stand. Do you guys remember that one?
I actually still played Lemonade Stand sometimes.
Okay, for you younger ones, Lemonade Stand was same time period as Oregon Trail came out when the screens had the green cursor across them. But you were a kid and you were trying to make money in the summer for lemonades, and you would have to buy the supplies from your mom and plant, and you'd see the weather forecast, so you'd know like what it was supposed, but the weather forecast wasn't 100% accurate.
Yeah.
So you had to like make enough lemonade that you would make a profit. You didn't want to like, I made 2 jugs of lemonade and I only sold 2 cups, so you lose money that day.
Yeah.
And your mom was a bitch. She wouldn't just give you stuff. She wouldn't.
Nope.
She wouldn't float your loan. Your mom.
No, she
was
wouldn't,
like,
dude. There was no loan option in that game.
Yeah, she's like, no, you're paying for this, man.
Oh boy, I've never seen that, but now I kind of want to play it.
They
and find
updated
out.
the game later, actually. Like, there's a bunch of like normal, like modern PC versions of it. Like, you can control the amount of sugar, the amount of ice. Like, they've gone like way farther into it these days. But there's like a bunch of different versions of it now.
I want to know what the
Oh,
one
wow.
was that Mads had told me about, that they would play in school, and it was a game that taught you, like, you had to like you had to make your character live a life, like a normal life, and they had to do things like clean their room, do their homework, eat,
Was it The Sims?
bathe. No, it was a game designed for kids to understand, like, if their room was super messy, they would start getting sick. If they didn't wash their hands, if they didn't do these
They
things.
die of dysentery.
Yeah. And but it was a lot more in depth, and like, and
That sounds
if you
cool.
saved your allowance, you could go out and buy, candy bars or nice things. And so it's like, and and they had like, they've updated it since from when we were young and could get totally preyed upon by people on the internet.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have the internet then.
Yeah,
but
we BBS is at best.
yeah, but they have, like the Penguin and some of the other games like that. I think they do a really good job with kids because there's no way for you to put in your real name or an address or a phone number or anything like that. Like, even
Right.
in private messages,
I want
and
to.
there's people regulate
I
it.
want to send a text message to my supervisor tomorrow morning and say, I'm sorry, but Oregon Trail told me I died of dysentery, so I guess I'm not coming into work today.
I can't come in today. I'll get you a screenshot from the game. We'll put your name on it. It's legit.
I had an Apple IIe computer when I was growing up. I had a Commodore 64 too, but it didn't have a hard drive or a disk drive of any sort. So if I wanted to do anything on it, I had to basically program it myself in BASIC.
Oh, that sucks.
Run the program, and that was the only way I could do it. But the Apple IIe, I did have a couple of 5.25-inch diskettes, and with a couple of games. But it was one of those green screens. It doesn't show color or anything like that.
Yeah.
So everything is very ASCII based. And I had a couple of games on there. One was called Tank, which was basically a tank moving through a maze that, you couldn't really see the maze. It was all kind of invisible until you moved through that section and you take on enemy tanks. And the other one was called Load Runner, which was a little digger guy, a little miner guy, and he would like go up and down ladders and stuff like that. And
that was a fun game.
Dig through walls and all that stuff. But I haven't played those since since I was in elementary school, high school, something like that.
I remember
yeah, I don't even know if people even remember those games, or they were just like something I managed to get with an Apple IIe. Were they even popular? I'd never even heard of them.
Load Runner was very popular, dude. What's up, James?
I used to play in elementary school. There's this is back in like 85, 84, 85, those kind of computers.
Mm-hmm.
And our school got its first computer, and you were sometimes allowed to play video games. One of them was Star Trek, but it was essentially a grid kind of game where the Enterprise was represented by the letter E. The Klingons were represented by the letter K.
Yeah.
And the Romulans were represented by the letter R. Now, you had to basically plan out your trip using the grid, and if there was an asterisk somewhere, that's a sun. You don't want to fly into that. And you don't know what the map was outside of the grid that you're seeing. So if you fly in there and fly into like a star, it would go supernova.
Nice.
But then if you came across like a Klingon or a Romulan, they want to start a fight as they normally do.
Yep.
You have to do the maths to figure out how to fire either the phaser or the torpedo. And sometimes you would miss, and sometimes you would die. You had to get really good at not dying.
I remember my dad showed me that game when I was young.
Games.
Today, children.
We're going to learn how not to die.
No. Today, children, we bring up the letter E for Enterprise.
I think the second weirdest game I ever played, and the game that got me wanting to work in haunts later in my life, it was called Haunted House Math. And this was elementary school. Like, we had, Oregon Trail. We had, the logic puzzle, the mouse in the maze with the cheese bullshit. But we had this thing called Haunted House Math, where you went through a cheesy haunted house, and to get from room to room, you had to solve math problems. And that was it. Like, ghosts and skeletons would hop out at you, and you just do a math problem and get through. But if you didn't, you'd die.
There was a video game on the Atari 2600, I think it was called Haunted House, and you had to evade ghosts and
that was a different game.
To find a key or something to get out. And
they just actually remade that game recently. They remastered that game entirely recently and put it on Steam. The one you're talking about.
I liked Jumpman. That was one of my favorite ones. It was like a prequel to Donkey Kong, kind of.
Yep.
There was nothing up at the top throwing things at you, but you had obstacles and little things that represented coins that you had to collect.
Yeah.
And there is the best level that was hard as fuck to get through was you'd run up this ramp, and then you'd go, and there were ladders and jumps and chains you could climb up or down or whatever. But one level, after you started running, about 5 or 10 seconds later, another you started running up there, and then another you, and they would follow the exact same path that you had taken. But you had to be able to not run into them, because if you ran into them, you died. So you'd have to be able to go so you could jump over yourself and avoid all of your other selves as they were coming up, because there was no way to get. You couldn't just. You had to get around and overcome obstacles, which required you to jump over yourself, and then there's the jumping you and it was just crazy.
I remember that game.
Might have been a hidden point in that game telling you to get over yourself.
And then I moved up to Sierra games with King's Quest.
Yes.
And Leisure Suit Larry. And
I love that one.
I remember Leisure Suit Larry. I think
Wet dreams may come.
Yeah, the whole point of that game was just to try to get laid.
Yep. It was hilarious, man.
Oh, I never made it anywhere in that game. I loved Sierra's sense of humor, because when you'd play King's Quest, if you wanted to start, it was difficult. There were a lot of things you had to figure out. If you wanted, there was a troll bridge. And so here's a hint, guys, if you happen to be playing this game. Towards the very beginning, you're in a castle. If you go behind the castle, there's a garden. In the garden, there are carrots. You need to pick a carrot and carry the carrot around with you. Eventually, you will come across a goat. If you open up the pen for the goat, he will run away. If you feed the goat will eat the carrot. If you show the goat will follow you and keep following you. If you go through various obstacles, though, you might kill the goat. The goat cannot swim and do things, but if you can lead the goat to the bridge, the troll will come up and the goat will kill the troll, and then you can cross the bridge, but then the goat runs away.
No.
But it was very long, logical things like that made that game super fun and hard, and
Sounds like a choose your own adventure book.
Yeah, I remember them selling to CUC International in the late 90s, and then they went bankrupt. I want to say it was after 2008, I think, after they got absorbed by Vivendi, and then 2009 they just completely shut out. But then Activision brought them back, and what is it, 2014, 2015 for a little bit?
I know
I think they did something similar with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where it was like a text-based game, and you had to move Arthur Dent through, basically the storyline.
Oh yeah.
And
one of their biggest games though was probably God, what was it called? Ultima. They're like largely known
Oh,
for the
they
Ultima series.
I
Oh
did
yeah,
not
Ultima.
realize that they did Ultima.
Oh yeah.
They were like one of the first games to use the Unreal Engine, weren't they?
No,
Okay,
no.
wasn't Ultima the one where you could not accidentally, but you could like kill wasn't that the one where they had a big event for Ultima Online and like the GMs came in and they weren't immune and they just got murdered by all of the people
Yes.
who showed up.
Yep.
My friend Nook played that game and you had to pay, even if you were banned, you had to pay the time of your ban to be able to get through it. Which was kind of silly if you ask me, but that was, it was one of the first games like that had subscriptions and stuff to it. And he went in and you could kill the NPCs and he wiped out an entire town. And he kept going back and killing all of the people who were showing up and he killed all of the he was a hell of a rogue. And he killed off all of the like shop owners and everything like that. And a GM pulled him into a private room. And apparently in that, it wasn't just a conversation. It was like you actually sat in a room with a character and he killed him. And did this to the point where he had been banned for like hundreds of, like 3,200 hours or something like that. But he would have had to have paid to be able to play again. But he was a legend in that game because he had just wiped the whole board basically for his server for hours before then killing the GM.
Oh, yeah. Now, some of you older folks may remember Sierra Best from the game Frogger because they were the creators of Frogger as well.
I played that in the arcade.
Yeah, they did
had
a
it
lot
on
of shit,
Atari
I mean.
2600 too.
That was a fun one. But yeah, they actually did a lot of games that people don't even realize were them. Like a lot of. They even did like Nintendo DS games, some PlayStation games. They did a lot under their name and like different subsidiaries. They even did one of the Spyro games. I mean, like they did a lot of shit from horror to comedy to kind of everything in between. And you can still play all their original games, like even the older ones like we were talking about. GOG games, which is like Steam, basically GOG. They have a section where you can create like logins for like old school stuff like that, and they have a whole section that's just for like Sierra Entertainment games. It's free.
Let's talk about like some of the first person or some of the games that really started that whole first person genre, because like the earliest one I can remember, there might have been ones before, but the earliest one I can remember was Wolfenstein 3D.
Yes, that's the first one I remember.
And when I first got Wolfenstein, or when I first played it, I was at my aunt's house in Florida, and my cousin Dwayne had it on 3.5-inch floppy disk and loaded onto the computer. It came in like 6 discs.
Yeah.
And there ended up being like 6 episodes of this game that they released. And I managed to get a copy from him of all 6 episodes. And I binged this entire game, all 6 episodes of Wolfenstein, in a week in God mode. So I didn't die, and it still took me a week to get through all 6 episodes.
That was
game.
That was
like
a good
really
game.
the first one of the first games in that kind of genre that I recall. And then the graphics just kept getting better to better. You start moving into games like Hexen and Heretic and
But even before that, though, man, because Wolfenstein was a platformer game. Like I remember Castle Wolfenstein, like all kinds of other shit. It was a platform game. But then they took Duke Nukem, which before that was also a platform game, and then turned it into a first-person shooter. And then of course, Doom.
Yeah.
I'd say Doom, Duke Nukem, and Wolfenstein are like the 3 that did it all, like that started all, and that are still going today, actually, because they still make every now and then, like.
Yeah, and they had other games along that same line, like Half-Life, I think was very similar to Duke Nukem and Doom.
And Quake got real
Quake,
big.
yeah. I think, I don't know if they still make Quake, but they made a lot of Quake games, and the graphics just kept getting better and better.
Yeah.
So I've always been kind of fond of first-person shooter games like that utilize.
I can't play them anymore now,
that
but like
genre.
I used to love them then.
I think that's kind of what got me into MMORPGs more than any other kind of console game, because they were still in that kind of first person. You're running through an area, terrain, and all the textures. What I was most familiar with coming from games like Wolfenstein and Quake and Duke Nukem and all of that. And I did play all of those games. In fact, funny story, I had the game Half-Life on a CD. You know, it came as like one of those promotional things. If you buy something else, then you get a promotional CD. So I had Half-Life on CD. But back then, this, I don't know, would have been late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere around there.
It would have been a DVD-ROM, right?
Yeah, DVD-ROM.
CD-ROM, sorry. That was still CD-ROM era, yeah.
But you could download a little program that you could load the game from your computer without necessarily needing to play it from the CD. Right. You just had to have the CD in the drive in order for it to load it first, and then after that, it would take over from the computer.
Yeah.
So I had a Godsmack CD in my CD-ROM drive, and I loaded up Half-Life. And as soon as the game started, of course, it tries to read from the CD, and the Godsmack CD is in there, and all of a sudden, I hear Godsmack's Time Bomb. As soon as the game started playing, I was like, that tracks.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was so perfectly in sync with the game. I thought, that's cool.
Man, I used to play Diablo 2 and listen to the Shaft theme song just on repeat. So I'm going through like playing Diablo 2, like killing demons, doing shit, and just Shaft. Can you dig it? Like every 5 seconds.
Can you dig it? Just
I like. Do you guys remember the Seventh Guest and D and
yes,
ones like
I
that?
bought in 1995. I think when Seventh Guest first came out, I actually bought it because my parents had just bought a new Pentium computer, and you had to have at least a Pentium class computer to play the game.
Yep.
So I bought it, and I wanted to play it using their computer, and I was like totally enthralled with it.
We've talked about those games a lot, actually, because I've actually gone and found newer versions of them for you, like recently.
Yeah, D was so hard because you had like an hour to play the whole thing. You could not pause. You could not say, 2 hours.
Yeah, it was
and you had to get through the entire thing.
It
So
was a bitch.
Well, you know, Seventh Guest had a sequel, right? The 11th Hour.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yep.
D
And that
had
also,
sequels, but they were totally unrelated to the regular game.
Yeah.
They were just
but that brings you back to Sierra, because the other big puzzle game back then was Phantasmagoria: Puzzles of the Flesh, and that was made by
I
Sierra
remember
also.
that one as well. I tried playing it, and I got stuck at the end and kept getting killed by the demon every time.
Oh god, that
Trying
game
to go
was
back
so
through and
tough.
figure out what in the world I did wrong. And it was
Honestly,
like one very small thing, one small detail, you forget it, and you die every time.
I was already a big Hellraiser fan before I played that game, but like going through there, like for some reason, gave me an even like deeper love for all things Hellraiser.
Yeah, I kept dying. It took my roommate to help me get through that game in order to beat it.
when games picked up pause and save functions, it was like, oh my god,
But, yeah,
life
but then,
has changed.
but then if you played on a console and all you didn't have save, you had pause, you would literally just have to unhook the cord from the back of your TV and like just leave your console on and paused until you could get back to it again so you could beat the fucking game.
I remember Mom, when we had our Atari, calling me out in the middle of the night, like, you gotta come, wake up, Carrie, wake up. I'm like, what do you want? I'm like this little kid, like 9 years old or something. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm playing Space Invaders. Play for me.
My game on the Atari was Yours Revenge. That was a game I could have just played on Infinite, because I mean, it just loops, and it doesn't. I mean, it gets a little bit faster, but the pattern is always the same. So it just loops, and once you learn the pattern, I mean, the game there's no end to it.
Oh yeah, it's a good one, man. I like that one. I know a weird one. Sega, when Sega came out, like they had the weirdest fucking games. Like, they were competing with Nintendo because they were like the more edgy system, and they put out this game that did not get a lot of advertising at all. And to this day, like, few people even remember it existed. It's called The Haunting, and the whole purpose of this game is you are a poltergeist. Well, no, you're a spirit. They keep calling you a poltergeist for some reason, but you have to haunt all these different objects in this house as like different like members of the household go into these rooms to literally scare them to death, or at least until they move to a different house. And between the levels, like you have to fight this demon, like in order to get through the underworld to go to the next house. And the whole thing turns out like by the end, a spoiler alert, by the way, for like a 30, 40-year-old game or however old it is now. You actually got murdered by someone in that family who summoned demons and turned their dog into a demon, but had their mind wiped so they didn't remember that the dog was a demon. So the big bad of the whole game was just the dog. And meanwhile, you're just a murdered spirit terrorizing. And even the kids, like you have to terrorize their children too. Like, and once you get the fear level up of the household, then they move. It was such a fucking weird game, but it's still one
I
of my
have
favorites.
not heard of that one. That's
a lot
very
of people
interesting.
haven't. They put out so many games so quickly, and so many of them were like these weird little games. Are like, I know they did a Sid Meier's Pirates port called Pirates Gold, with an exclamation point. That was awesome. Like they just do these weird games all the time.
UncleNecRo, you had something?
Well, okay. I'm going to preface this by stating that I am a big Garfield fan since way back. There is a character in the classic run of the series named Lyman, who was a friend of John Arbuckle. He was brought in for the first few years of the run of the comic. And then as Garfield got a bit more prominent, he was phased out of the comic, just kind of disappeared. Nobody said anything about where he went to, whether he moved out, whatnot. That's fine. Go ahead about 2002. The official Garfield website, every Halloween had a couple of flash games that was centered around a haunted house. Garfield had to go around and collect some items within this haunted house. And one of the rooms in said haunted house was in the basement, where we find Lyman chained up and emaciated. So all this time, John's been keeping him in the chained up in the basement.
That's messed up.
Wow.
Trauma.
Yeah.
Only
like,
a little.
Whoa.
Feed him lasagna? No, Garfield ate it all.
Yeah, I was gonna feed you today, but
that was the meat that John was adding to the lasagna.
Oh no.
Oh, jeez.
Well, that just took a wrong turn.
Yes, it
It
did.
got dark quick.
Wow.
That is epic, man.
I'm reading Chew right now, so that's particularly poignant.
But as far as first person, for me, it's GoldenEye.
GoldenEye, yes.
I did my games back in the 80s when I used to spend a lot of time at the arcade after school, and my games back then were one, Karate Champ, which was obviously my favorite for intrinsic reasons.
No.
Really? What? No,
It's so
come on.
surprising.
The other was Double Dragon.
Love
And
Double
for
Dragon.
whatever reason, I was also really good at the game Track and Field.
Track and Field was fun too, though. I'm surprised you didn't say Kung Fu. That was a classic game.
Oh, I did play Kung Fu as well, but those were actually my top 3 games. I just happened to be really good at those particular games.
Oh yeah.
Karate Champ, I did actually beat that game, although it took me forever because there's 12 levels. If you beat the 12 levels, then it starts over again, but it's a little bit faster. And man, you got to have a good set of timing. And like the higher, once you start going back through the 12 levels again, it just keeps getting faster until by the end of the game, it's almost ridiculous. So it's 24 levels in total because you run through all 12 levels twice. And if you beat the 12th level the second time, then you beat the game. And it was almost impossible because of how fast it goes. But I finally did do it. Double Dragon, it's kind of the same thing. The closer you get to the end, the faster it starts to go. But I was pretty good at that game, and I could beat it on a consistent basis. But Karate Champ is a lot harder.
Oh yeah.
Well, then we go to the Sims as well, because there was Sim Tower, which, good God, I got a copy. I don't know. It like either it showed up with one of the crappy laptops that I had, or somewhere it showed up. I didn't purchase it. I just had it. And that was living here. So this is within the past 20 years. And I had this laptop that ran the old floppies. Like, this is how antique this was. And it was only like maybe 15 years ago or so that I was playing this. And I didn't realize how absolutely slow this laptop was because I mostly used it for reading. It was like a word processor for me and writing. It didn't have, like, I had to put a card in to get into the Ethernet, and such. And I was playing that, and my SO was out on my tower, and he was playing it, and I never thought to put it in there. But I'm playing, and I'm like building things, and here comes the little person, and they're going up the escalator, and I can see them
Welcome back, Jenny.
browsing what they want in the window shops of the stores that you're building.
Right.
Because your whole point is you have to build this tower and give it hotel rooms and condos and stores and parking levels, and there's garages or elevators and stuff that move up from the stuff. And I could see them each moving up and moving down, and he's like, "Oh, I beat it," and I'm like, "How did you do that? I've only built like 3 levels." And he was like, "What? What are you doing?" And we went and looked, and on his it's just like zip, 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 zip. And I'm like watching them go up the escalator. In his game, you couldn't even see that there were people there were like little blurs that would occur on the screen every now and then as things were moving, and I was just like, oh.
I had a copy of the original Sims, and I installed it. I tried to play it, and you create your own little character. You got your own little world and all this stuff. But for the life of me, I could not figure out how to play that damn game. I had no freaking idea what I was doing. And like, I got this little character, I had like one man and one woman character, whatever. And like the female character would start complaining, and you see these little bubbles over her head, and she's like, rah, 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 whatever language that the Sims speak. And for the life of me, I could not figure out what the hell she wanted. I like, speak English, I couldn't figure it out. And then I think she like ended up dying or something just because I couldn't figure out what she wanted. I'm like, yeah, this is definitely a metaphor for life, for being a man, because I still can't figure out what the hell women want.
Well,
I got no idea what to do.
They're releasing Sims 5 now, but you can get so many add-ons, and basically I wasn't playing the game right. I make up my own little stories and move my people around, and I control my people. And other people are like, I go on Reddit and they're like, oh, so and so, this local townie is just a horrible person. They all have backstories apparently as well. And if you like watch the families, the way they do things, there's like this one lady, Eliza Pancakes or something like that.
Yeah, Pancakes. Yep.
That she cheats on her husband all the time, and she has like 5 kids, all by different men, but her husband thinks they're his, even though some of them are mixed racial and stuff. And she has a secret identity, and I had no idea. I was just like, I'm making this character, and I'm playing this household, and I hired a maid, and she was a bad maid. And I ended up like, it was one of my vampire characters, and I have like a sub basement that she now lives in, where like all of whenever a sim pisses me off, I kill them, and then I put their urn down with her, so she has to put up with all of the ghosts because she was terrible. But she's currently having a relationship with the Grim Reaper. They've gotten close, so it's a very weird add-on. Not like that weird, but you can do flirties and with stuff.
The Grim Reaper is my dealer in my game.
Yeah,
that's where I buy weed from.
Yeah.
So hold on here. Have you been doing something that Dell needs to tell me about? Nope. Okay. My Reaper said it's fine.
Okay, so but
there are
glitches depending on what all you have, right? And it like if I were to want to share a game with one of my friends, we make ourselves so that we can have each other in our household, but you have to have all of the same content that the other people do, and people make their own content for you. You can buy like 500 different shades of eyeshadow. Well, actually, you can buy tens of thousands of different shades of eyeshadow, but it gets ridiculous the amount of mods and content and stuff you have, but you have to have the same ones to support the character. And there is a certain like, I think it's the eyeball ring. If you combine that with which they took out. Finally, it had been like the accessory that would just show up when you random made things. But I think if your characters were wearing the eyeball ring and you made a spellcaster.
There you go.
Yes. Okay, we're gonna go in there. Oh, I'm too late. Okay, so if you're wearing that,
so cool.
and you make a spellcaster, they won't have faces. They will have mouths, and they will have eyes, and they will have hair, but where their face is a blank. But if they're wearing sunglasses, they will have no eyes. So you have to go into the sunglasses thing, and one of the content things that I got was Coraline eyes. So like the black button eyes from Coraline.
Yeah.
But the way they designed them, they don't, because the facial depths, they don't just go on as like a flat button. They like have depth to them, so they go back. So I made these. I totally generated these characters. They came up with no faces, and I named them Blanco, or no, it was like Blanco Bacon, something Firecracker. I don't know. I gave them names, but I gave the one girl, because she had no eyes whatsoever. They're long black things. So this is my what the fuck family, and I would like to share this with you. I took them all out to the bar.
Yebony Demise, from Florib Essenoy, Brainham Dubmom. Torky Shuksa Fazoo, huh? Corbif Dabiwu, Plonites.
Shooks
I
of
will make you
Bazoo.
watch through all of that, but yeah, that's them speaking Simlish to each other and just hanging out and having drinks at the bar. You can mix drinks if you want, or buy them from the bartenders, and they just hang out. But you also get this thing where you get the Sims reactions, and I'm gonna delete that one now. Okay, but they all saw each other and were horrified of each other. So you'd have these like freak out reactions going on, and like, I mean, they're all horrifying looking, but they're all terrified of each other. Yet I forced them to live together and hang out, and so they're like trying to overcome this hatred and be friendly, because I'm like making them interact. And there's a guy called Greystone Plays.
Things get real.
That is some uncanny valley shit going on right there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, there's a guy called Greystone Plays on YouTube, and he does the most fun shit with his Sims. Like, he'll be like, they have weird things like the 100 baby challenge.
Yeah.
And stuff. But he'll just take, like, he's made some Sims, and some of them have stuck around. So he has like Florida guy and this guy and some other ones, and he
I
just
kind of want to write
them.
a short horror story about, people with eyes and mouths but no faces.
It's weird as shit to play, man. I don't know. I made
story,
house elves. I build my houses. I have so much fun, but I have the whole story going on with it. And other people are like, no, you just like let them run around and do things. And
No,
watch
I have
them.
the story
like,
too. Yeah.
I'm like, but no, you don't understand. I made my Sim write all of the books that I've written and the titles that I have.
Same.
And they're making like $384,000 a month off of royalties. And so I have, everybody
Art imitates life, imitates art. Where's my cut of the money for that?
Where's my simoleons?
Yeah, it kills me too, because
I'm trying. I am so trying to figure out how that works, how I can get us all $3,852 a month.
See, what you have to do is you have to bring up the cheat menu bar and True Cheats on, and then you have to type in Motherload.
Yeah.
Right, just a bunch of times, and then you're good.
I even re-got Game Shark, and it's not working, man.
How can I get $3,852 a month just like now? Normally, me personally.
Yeah, you have to download Sims first of all. That's step one. Then step two, believe in yourself.
I mean, I want like the real money, not the Sim cash. I want real money.
That's where step two comes in, believing in yourself.
And people go through
I'm believing in me. I'm believing in you. I'm believing in you. I'm believing in you, and I'm trying to help
and
sell
you get to
all
believe.
of y'all's
And
books.
you get to believe.
And I believe in this UncleNecRo, give me a book.
During
Please,
COVID quarantine, somebody designed like the entire palace at Versailles, like down to the tiniest little details.
Dude,
they did. People just went fucking nuts.
have you seen the Bates Motel one? That like, every like whether it's on PC or console, one of the big ones you can find if you type in horror, and like they have the whole the whole motel is there, plus the house with the lady in the dress and the rocking chair and like the shrubberies, the trees, like the whole property. So you got to get like one of the largest properties in the game and then download and put it on there. It's got the hill gradient. It's fucking. It blew my mind the other day.
That's nice. The amount of time people
mute themselves.
Yeah, for some reason I forgot that I can't, like, it doesn't just mute the sound I want it to, it mutes me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the amount of time people put into stuff, it's something that we're thinking of doing though, because apparently there's now a multiplayer mod that actually works. So we want to design. We thought it would be fun for designing for our books. One of the upcoming collaborations that we're doing, actually design the location, and then have like the things in the houses you could find. It would be something that we could use while we're writing it.
Yeah.
To go back and forth, and then something else that then for people who are fans of The Sims, we can just make it downloadable.
Yeah.
So that.
And we can also make little videos of it, like of things happening, and post them for fun, like a whole playlist of this weird shit in our cul-de-sac.
I want a mod where I can take characters from The Sims and make them into NPCs in EverQuest so I can run around and kill them.
You'll want to get... Let me tell you which mods you want to get for that, actually.
Do they have an EverQuest mod for The Sims? Because that would be fun. You can't mod EverQuest because it's owned by Daybreak Games, so they kind of frown on that.
Fuck Daybreak. Seriously, I'm so angry with them for what they did with Just Survive. It is hands down. Just Survive was the best crafting / zombie apocalypse game ever made in the history of gaming, and they completely shit the bed. They parted it out with the H1Z1, PvP game, and they kept H1Z1 around, and they sold off Just Survive, and it's been bought by another company who's actually working on bringing it back finally. But them ruining that game and then just closing doors after a lot of us spent some money on it, I'm just still so angry at them. I cannot support anything they ever make for the rest of time. It made me so mad.
That's a long time.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, since I mentioned it twice in the show notes, I'm just going to bring up, by the way, this is one of the hardest, apparently, to find corpses in all of video gaming. This here is Mankrik's wife, by the way. If you're ever looking for her in the Barrens in Vanilla WoW, that is what you're actually looking for. So...
The beaten corpse.
So, yeah, I mean...
The more you know. What game was that from? WoW?
World of Warcraft Vanilla.
Okay.
Yeah, it's before Cataclysm, because once Cataclysm happens, the Barrens goes to... Well, the Barrens has always been a shithole, but...
Vanilla? They call it
that's
Vanilla?
the original. Yeah, it's Vanilla WoW. It's
original
before
version.
they added everything onto it.
Okay. I haven't kept up with WoW, so... I tried it once right before EverQuest 2 came out, and then I switched to EverQuest 2, and I never really played WoW again.
It gets
so does
weird,
anybody here?
Oh. What?
I have a question because we haven't brought it up yet.
Yes.
Does anybody here ever just build sanctuaries in Fallout and just chill there for a while?
I do, especially in 76, man. Like, I found this really amazing place where most people set the nukes off. There's this hidden lake that's really hard to find, but once you find it, you have to figure out how to, like, the right space to put, like a deck on to build a house. But if you build the house right, you're right on the edge of the blast zone where you don't get the radiation, but you can put, like, a hot tub, like, right towards the top, like one of the Wavy Willards hot tub setups, and literally sit in the fucking hot tub and just watch the nukes go off. And it is the most brilliant thing I've ever done in the game.
I've heard about Fallout 76, and it sounds really intriguing to me, but I've never actually played it.
especially with you like in like shooters, man, because you can either be in third person or in first person. But like, I like the Fallout games, but 76 is based in like West Virginia on the edge of Ohio, and the whole game, and it's the only Fallout game like this. It's entirely loaded with cryptids, random cryptids, fucking everywhere. The Snallygaster, fucking Mothman. It's got so much different shit in it. And
is it on Steam?
Oh yeah, it's on PC. It's on every console out there. It's a wildly popular. 76 has been around for a while, but you don't even have to really know the whole background of the Fallout video games. It helps a little bit for fun, but like you'll catch more Easter eggs if you know the history of the games. But you can just go into 76 cold and play it and enjoy the fuck out of it. Even Jason Mewes does Jay from Jay and Silent Bob does a voice in the game. Like, there's a lot of famous people that do voices in the game, but it's so much fun, man. And there's a lot to the base, like almost Sims level base building if you really get into base building. And I'm really into base building.
I really enjoyed his story arc in the game.
Yeah, at the bar.
It's fun. That's a reason that I like The Sims is because you can build, but there's also, we talked about kids games a little bit ago. And Wizard 101 is no longer just for kids because we've all been growing up with it and you can do a lot of building on the side. It requires a lot of collecting things, and some of them are super rare. But like, I'm going to show, this is one that I'm proud of. This is one of my houses. I have spent hundreds of hours decorating houses, but I made a Chinese restaurant because I kept getting all this stuff as extras. And so those are like, you can collect the NPCs that are there by killing enough of them, and you get a way to drain them. And then I set that all up with all these different kinds of, I know that watermelon and a cherry pie aren't probably the most
Well, if you move all the tables to the side, you can make that into a dojo with all those tatami mats.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I have like, I'll show it to you outside of the show sometime, but that was just there. It is set up that way. And then there's another little side spot that I put a spa in there, but you can go in the location that it is.
Hi, Tom.
Dog. The specific house, you like teleport into the house and they have their things. Some of them are just a house, some of them have spacious grounds and stuff as well. But there is that house that has an upstairs, there's the stairs that go up to the top, and that's where I put the kitchen in. But you go into an actual dojo, and that's where you can get a daily prize if you walk up to the statue that's there. But in the center of it and it has the weapons racks all around it and stuff. And in the center is a PvP circle, so you can go and step in there and actually do your like sparring and fighting and stuff. So that's one of my favorite houses. I get a kick out of playing that. But I've spent so much time designing houses in that game that, like, I just went back through the other day and, like, I have all these portals that take you, like, you get the daily things. Sometimes it's like a house has one thing, but there are some things you can add to houses to give more. So I got more. And I have portals that are like, go to daily rewards. And you get the daily reward. Then go collect these 4 daily rewards that I have here. Then step through this one, and it'll take you to another one of my houses that has another daily reward. Then there's another sign that take you to this daily reward, and it just like zooms you all over the place. So I went back in every now, like you can put your houses up so that your friends can go through, and it like every 90 days they get taken down again. So every 90 days I have to go in, re-upload the game, get it all caught up, and then go into the thing, put my houses in, and then log out again because they have that much good stuff for people in them.
Nice.
I played DC Universe Online for a while, and I got really into the game because I love the graphics, and it was very different than most PC-based games that I had been playing up to that point because it was, I think, originally intended for like the PlayStation 2 or the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
So, like a lot of the controls, you could use like a regular PlayStation type joystick, that you connect through USB and use it that way. But I played it on computer. And now, I mean, it's been so long since I played the game and they've made so many changes to it. I wouldn't even know where to begin. If I started back, I'd have to like relearn the game all over again because it's almost a completely different game now they've added so much, a lot of the same things that you see in other games with like house building and decorating. You can collect all the stuff to put in your house and whatnot. And they have like armor class where you keep swapping out the armor to get a higher class. And I have no idea about the stuff now, but I mean, so many games. Well, I think basically mostly all games now have microtransactions within the game where you're having to spend like real money to get things that you can use within the game. And it's just like, I don't play games that much anymore because there's so many microtransactions. And it's like, that's just not what I really want to be spending my money on when there's so many other things that I need to take care of in life, like outside of the game, like bills, So, I mean, I get it, but it's pastime for some people and all of that. And believe me, if I had like the extra cash that I could do it, then yeah, I'd probably get into it as well. But I just, I haven't really played many video games since everything really started going microtransaction.
Dude, back when I was playing Shia and was a GS, like some of the things that you can buy, and this is where they really kill you on the microtransactions, are the mystery boxes. Because it's like you have a chance, and there were hundreds of times I have had to sit down and talk to somebody and say, no, if you read what it says, because it says like for, 400 insert game cash type here, you get this box. Inside is a chance at big prize number A that's worth 15,000 of said game coin. Or this, or this, or this, or this, or, all the way down. And people would buy those and complain that they didn't get the top prize. I'm like, it's not that. But there are other people. There was one guy, and some things he spent, a regular amount on. Like, he would buy direct, exact items that he wanted, and sometimes he would invest in those mystery boxes, and then some of it binds on... Like some of them, when you buy them, if you open it, it binds on opening. So you can't sell it. You just own it. So if you end up winning more than one, you're like, oh, well, shit, I guess I have two of these now. I can junk one of them.
Yeah.
But there was a guy I knew who spent $12,000 a month.
Jesus.
Like, yeah. He was in my guild.
Who the fuck has $12,000 a month to spend? Like,
that guy.
What are you doing for a living if you're making that kind of money?
And he's playing enough that, like, I have no idea what he did, but, like, the thing is that he got in trouble with his wife for that. And most people be like, well, yeah, duh. He got in trouble with his wife for that because he didn't buy her as much stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, who the fuck has $12,000 a month? That's what I want to know.
Sofa King did. He had his, like, his tank was like so fucking tough and stuff, but it was Sofa King is what but yeah, so that happened.
Wow.
We lost James.
Yeah, he had to call it a night.
Oh, okay. Sorry, James.
I think we were like kind of gaming out over him a little bit. We got the games.
Usually people at least say bye before they leave. Okay.
I think we talked too much over. Like, I'll just go now.
Okay, two things. A, they have a thing to say, and B, I did try to ask this question earlier. Yes. What do we name the owls that Sonia sent us? There's the front.
So the owls. Let me get you here.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, what owls are we talking about?
Yeah, I know you mentioned the owls, but I had no idea which owls you meant.
And this is the other one Sonia sent.
And
there's a third one, but I can't find them. So
how about Albert Camus and Al Jolson?
I was going to say Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yep. I vote for Hootie for one of them because, yeah.
Okay, which one's Hootie?
Hootie and
brown or blue?
Hooter.
Brown.
Yeah,
okay,
I
so
figure
this
Hootie.
Well,
brownish green.
This one's Hootie.
Yeah.
So now we just have to figure out this one.
Right.
That one actually looks more like a penguin than an owl. Maybe
Don't say that.
No,
Penguins
they're
are
actually
evil.
No, they came as owls, the little TY with the heart owls, but they came with names, and I'm like, well, why can't we name them on the show?
Are these gender specific owls? Like, is one male and one female? Or are they? What are they? Are they
They're
just?
whatever gender
They're
we
owls.
want them to be. They're just owls.
I still want to name one
because-
Camus.
Camus?
Camus.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Camus.
There's there's a race in EverQuest. There's a species, I guess, in the Plural Caverns on Luckland, and they're owl
they are.
bears.
Yeah.
They're bears with owl heads.
Yeah, it's a classic D&D monster right there, man.
Yeah, they're owl bears, and for whatever reason, I don't know why the developers of EverQuest never thought about doing this, but naming one of the owl bears Camus. Because I mean,
Oh dear Lord,
it would have made sense to me. What
What
fuck
is that?
that's the most fucking evil thing I've seen in a while.
God.
Well, it's
That's
made after
scary.
very evil.
Unfortunate souls.
Yes, normally Dell has so many puppets, so I was given puppets this time. So I wanted to bring them on, and we all know this one's name, but it's my new puppet because Josh loves me.
I don't know that one's name.
Ursula.
Raz, we named him.
It
Yeah,
looks
Ursula.
like
Okay,
It
is
looks
that
like
tell me.
Ursula.
the octopus thing from
Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
there we
Ursula.
go.
whatever it's called.
Yeah, but I don't always name things after what they're named, so you never.
Yeah,
like,
but I
never
like-
just want to assume names.
From Little
Okay,
Mermaid.
well,
that's
this
what
one I
trying to
wanted to
think
keep it the same because I love that villain. We also have a Squishmallow with her name. Well, that
Mm.
is her as well. But yeah, okay. Thank you guys. Now I'm ready to talk about Frog Festival because
Oh yeah,
I've been
yeah.
trying.
So, speaking of games and adventure, Pyle and I went on one buck of an adventure yesterday to the Frogman Festival. we did things before we went to the festival. Like we ate, we dropped off a trailer, we hung out a little bit. But this Frogman Festival, man, like it's the second year that it ran. It was busy. Like even when it was slow, it was still kind of busy. But by afternoon, it was as packed as a normal convention I would go to, and I was blown away by how many people were there. And to give you a little vibe for what this was like, we took a couple pictures. We took a lot of videos and stuff that I'm putting together for a package that we'll show you guys in Premiere eventually, probably sometime very soon. But yeah, some of these pictures we found, these two pictures were just on one person's car, but it's like the vibe, you know what I mean? Like, here's the first one we noticed on the car.
Mind you, I had to put that on my TikTok.
I said, didn't he? Yep. And then he was taking pictures, and then I pointed this one out, which we almost didn't notice at first.
Loveland Frog ate my whole ass out of
Skyline. Yep.
No step on Snick.
Yep. So this
Don't
was
tread
kind
on
of
me.
like a vibe for the festival. They did a parade with people in costumes. It was like cryptids, mostly, obviously a lot of Loveland Frogmen, but like you had like Mothman, like just, a couple of different cryptids, and it was a guy with bagpipes
That was leading.
up and down the rows, leading the procession of all the cryptids.
Mind you,
we got a video of that parade too.
Mind you, I heard the bagpipes and I said, somebody's cell phone's going off. I mean, who in the hell would have bagpipes here? Man, someone's cell phone's going off. And it kept on going and going. I was like, someone's trying to find their cell phone bad. And then all of a sudden, here he comes with his bagpipes and he's all dressed in green. And I'm like, well, that wasn't a cell phone ringer, was it, Raz? And he's nope.
That makes
Tell him
perfect
about the old
sense.
guy. Tell him about the old guy in the car.
This is a time like where after another part of the adventure that I'll talk about in a minute, we kind of came back. We had like time to kill before this movie, which we'll also talk about. And we were just sitting there talking, like bonding, just chilling in the creeper panel van and just hanging out. And this lady walking a dog and her husband was walking, like right behind her, and they were just talking, and they just happened to look over, and I look at him. Like he's just looking real close to the car. I can see the car is like parked right next to us. You can see everyone's reactions to the bumper stickers. And he starts reading it out loud, and he's like, "Ate my hole," and his eyes get so big, and his wife just kind of covers her mouth. And they're an older couple. I would guess probably like mid to late 60s. Like she's like trying not to crack up laughing, and he just looks horrified and just. looks at the car and blinks, and he's like, "I think it says ass." I lost my shit, and the window rolled down and everything. Like I'm trying not to fucking laugh and draw attention to the guy because his face was like bright red too. He was embarrassed.
And
yeah, then we got to meet that it was their car, and I told him, I said, "So, love your bumper stickers," and they're like, "Which one?" And I explained what happened. I even said that I made a TikTok. They actually found my TikTok just to say, "Yeah, my car."
Hell yeah, yeah. We told him the pictures were probably going to end up on his show as well. But yeah, like it was a crazy day. Like we met so many amazing. We talked to every single vendor there. Like literally, we stopped and talked to every vendor there. Had conversations, got business cards. There were a bunch of podcasts there, authors, and we have all their information. And a lot of them are definitely wanting to show up on some of our shows and like talk about not just the Frogman, but all kinds of different shit. So it was a great day for connections. Here's one of my favorite connections, which involves a mini unboxing. This was from, and excuse the mess in my background, but I kind of need to remember how to turn off my background for a second because you're not going to see things otherwise. Here we go. Yes, I'm a mess right now. So this is from Cryptid Comforts for all your creature needs. And this is one of their mystery bags that can contain a plushie and like 8 or 9 other cryptid related items. So I've been fighting myself to not open this because if you don't know this about me, I'm a sucker for mystery box. I don't give a shit what it is. If I'm at a con and I see a mystery box, I have to buy one. It's my kryptonite. It's what I do.
Right.
And I saw this. It was one of 2 mystery box situations, but this was a mystery, the only one I could actually physically buy. The other one was for this, I think Michael Thompson, this amazing author we talked to. And he had a thing where if you did a QR code and liked them, you got to open the mystery like treasure box. And there was this really
opened
cool
it
like
without the key.
Yep. And there was this really cool it was like a root beer cap turned into a magnet. It was amazing. And I got to open this damn thing because the material they use in here is so sturdy. It's almost Raz-proof.
You need a knife.
I got one near me, but like I don't want to cheat.
We can't trust him with those.
No, you cannot. All right.
His last name is Slasher.
I'm not sure what some of these things. Oh, there's a tote bag right off the rip. This says, it's Bracky. What does it say first? If you've got a taste for terror, take Braxy to the prom. It's a cool little tote with Braxy on it.
Oh yeah, we seen that as a shirt too there.
If only they knew she had the power. But yeah, this is a cool little tote. I like that. That's cute. So I got me a cryptid tote.
Uh-oh.
It's gonna be good.
Nice.
Ooh.
Do you believe?
Yeah. I ended up getting one of the plushies. I was pretty sure there was going to be a plushie in there. I'm excited that I got one. This is, let's see. Oh, this is an enamel pen. Nice. Check that out.
Oh, it's so cute.
Cool
I
enamel
like
pen.
it.
It's awesome.
See what it is, but okay.
Oh, hold on.
Shiny. Oh, okay.
What is that?
Yeah, do you want to tell us what it is?
I'm not sure because it doesn't tell me.
Oh, what does the top say?
Cryptid Comfort's the name of the company. I'm not sure which one this is. It looks like a pterodactyl a little bit, to be honest with you. I'm not sure exactly which cryptid that is. It's stylized.
Take it out of the package so that the plastic won't reflect light. Might make it easier to see.
The enamel pen is just actually shinier than the plastic itself.
Oh.
I can try this. This might help a little bit. Hold on.
Yeah, I see it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure which cryptid it is. I'll have to look that up a little later. Oh, we got
there's like a pterodactyl one out west.
I just can't remember the name of it.
I can't either. Don't make me get my books out.
And then it's hard to like really see this. It's got all these little like chibi style cryptids, like every cryptid ever all over it, and it's a lanyard. Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's really neat.
I could use that for my job.
Let's see. Ooh, what is this? This is, oh man, I think it's a puzzle box.
The
Yep, it's a
Badger
puzzle.
Pterosaur.
Oh, nice. This is one of those little puzzle boxes. You fit the little ball, the little puzzle maze ball.
Oh, I know what that is. Yeah,
that's so very cool. Ooh, I got a bracelet that says, "Oh, it's a Mothman bracelet." It says "Virginia is for monsters," and it's got show you the bracelet. And you can't really see the details. It's got Mothman on it.
There you go.
Cute.
That's a cute little. I had a microphone. Little bracelet there. Oh, I've actually got the sticker for it. West Virginia is for monsters. With some of their, with a lot of their plushies.
That's cool. I'd put that on a lunchbox.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Oh, another enamel pen. This is a. Oh, it's a Mothman Harbinger of Doom pen. It's not an enamel pen. It's just a button pin.
Dude,
that's really cool. That's actually going to go on my haunt flannel, I think. Oh man, there's more stuff in here. Holy crap!
Holy shit!
She said it was.
It is. Oh my god!
A $25 bag, but
no, it was a. She said it was a $65 bag.
You paid $25.
Yeah, dude, it's a Bigfoot bottle opener.
Nice.
That's cool.
That is really neat.
Yeah,
and
she said it's at least $60, $65 in there, guaranteed.
Yep. This is also it's a bottle opener for a keychain, but it's a button. It says, "I saw the Loveland Frogman, and all I got was this lousy keychain."
There you go.
It's a keychain, but like it's got the bottle opener part thing on the back of it.
Hey, at least you didn't get knocked up.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too. But yeah, that's my bag, guys. Like, and I can throw the wrapping away because I've got that awesome tote that I can put it all in.
Oh, that's cool. Save their. You have their information?
Oh yeah, I've got their business cards and everything. When we talked to them like for a while that day, quite a while that day actually.
So Raz is talking to them, and I'm like, business card, and I'm like shoving it in his pocket.
Yep, he literally we would go to every booth and talk to them, and every booth he'd stop. He would grab the card and just kind of tuck it in there.
And Raz is like, "Oh yeah, we're," and he just kept on going. I mean, that man was absolutely a kid in a candy store. He was just like
100%. I got this really cool T-shirt from also a booth over there. I can probably. Here's the front of it. It's just got like on the pocket side. It's got, of course, that is Bigfoot wearing a Jason mask, by the way.
I was gonna say,
nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but here's the back.
Oh, sweet.
Welcome to Camp Cryptid Lake.
That's awesome.
Isn't that bad? It was only $20, dude, and they didn't even like charge me more for being fat or anything. It was great.
Love that.
Well, I say that because a lot of places will charge like the convention shirt was like every X up you needed to buy to fit you was like an extra $2 or $3 like per X, and I'm like,
yeah.
A lot of some conventions are like that. Now, this was a gift from Pyle. I collect maps. Yeah, every time I go to like any kind of rest stop in a different state, I'll get like one of the big maps. But this one is called Hidden Ohio. I can't unfold it because it's huge, and I'm going to figure out how to get it laminated. But it literally shows you every single section of Ohio, and this is a giant wall map when it folds out. And it's a legend. It has like a legend sort of section where it tells you like, there's a specific paranormal haunting here. There's a cryptid there. There's like an odd place you can go check out over here. And it literally not just lists them all on this giant map in every county, but it also gives you directions to them.
Oh,
yeah.
Like it's
Hey, Raz.
Yeah.
Do you know where your actual FedEx store is? That's the real FedEx store, not just a subsidiary
they could probably laminate
in a
it for
store.
Yeah.
They have a laminator.
Okay.
Big enough.
We're talking about that
was
because there's a UPS store in Sydney. It's a UPS shop store. And I told him, I said, their laminator should be big enough.
Literally, one of my bags is mostly just full of
business cards.
Yeah, business cards. I've literally got so many cool things. And this was from a gaming company called Disgruntled Games that we talked to them for a while too. We actually had temporary tattoos on our hands that day. I had a Wendigo and he had a Mothman. We had those on until they fell apart that day. But I have like bags of business cards and stuff. Like, it was such a cool thing. But like, but
they're fake tattoos. I will let you know. I don't know who makes them or anything like that, but if they start peeling off, they will peel off. It doesn't like rub off, and it takes off your hair off of your hand. And Raz, he's like, man, mine ripped. I'm taking mine off. And then all of a sudden he's like, I think I'm allergic to something in this. So, you know.
So I started thinking about it. I'm not sure if it was an allergy or if I just removed the top layer of my skin. Because that's a possibility.
It was like
Raz,
they were well made.
Raz, what you could do once you get that map laminated, try to find somebody that has a big camera that you can put it under, and then take a picture of it, because you could use that as your green screen behind you.
I was thinking about that. Yeah. It's pretty brilliant though. Like we weren't satisfied though just to go to a festival about the Frogman. There was a point in which Pyle and I were like, you know what? Let's go see if we can find the Frogman, because like there's been sightings during the day, not just at night. And it just so happened I knew the locations where they were seen were right around a famous landmark called the Loveland Castle, which is actually a castle. So we said fuck it, and we went to the castle right by the Little Miami River in Loveland. And we got out. We looked around the bank. We went in the castle, around the castle. Unfortunately, we entered through the back door of the castle and went the wrong way backwards through the whole thing, causing traffic jams and everything. And at some point after we walked in, Pyle noticed that there were arrows on the floor we were supposed to be following. We did not follow them. We just wandered around the fuck we wanted, and they let us video the entire process. So there is literally an entire video tour pretty much that we did of bumbling around through all the grounds looking for Frogman in the castle, outside the castle, around the castle.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, we were like, oh okay, we seen everything, and we start walking away, and then somebody said there was a dungeon. I was like, hey Raz, he said there was a dungeon. Let's go down to the dungeon. He goes, oh, I didn't see a dungeon. I said, well yeah, but if we went the right way,
we would have seen it.
We would have seen this sign that clearly is focused towards people being able to see it if you're going the right way. It says dungeon. And then we're getting in there, and Raz got to the camera out. He's like, oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I was like, Raz, you might want to turn around. There's like a whole bunch of people that want to see.
10 people waiting to see this one thing. And I'm like, they were so quiet, or I was so engrossed, I did not even hear them. I don't even know how long they were standing there, not even wanting to like say anything to me. I felt kind of bad, but then I saw a chainsaw as I was about to walk away. And I was like, chainsaw. So I had to stop. It was a chainsaw. It was important. And like then after that, we spent some time in this castle. Like we really looked around the castle. We learned about the castle. It was a really cool experience. Found out they do paranormal tours there and stuff.
Found out they have Abraham Lincoln in the window.
Yeah. We had to debate on whether it was Abraham Lincoln or not for a little bit. And
I won.
It turned out, he was right. It turned out to be definitely Abraham Lincoln. Still not sure why. Still not really sure why he was even there. We forgot to ask why. We just were so engrossed as the what.
Because the owner that built that liked presidents.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Because he had that wall of all the presidents he had contacted. There was the thing with Reagan and all that. Yeah. But it was a cool experience. And they're like, we're hungry, so we go to this La Rosa's pizza restaurant, and like the way the booths are, like the booth walls are like 10 feet tall, no joke. Because when I stood up, like I had to look up, and I couldn't even reach the top of it. And we're in this center aisle where people walk past you on both sides, but you have a limited like field of vision on both sides. And this fucking waitress, I called her the pizza ninja, because she would just show up and a plate would be gone. Like just show up and like you'd have a refill. Like it was the weirdest experience, because you can't see her coming or going. She just suddenly appears and is there, and then she's gone again immediately. Like it was the pizza ninja. It was the most random thing ever. He's laughing, but he knows I'm right.
If you want to see something really amazing with pizza, you have to make it to Terrificon this year, because okay, I go to casinos, I go to busy restaurants, I go to things like this on a semi-frequent basis with my mother, and getting the entire Dorkening crew together at one table in the middle of a casino that has like 30 restaurants where you get food and then go somewhere should be a difficult thing, right? Fuck no, we have booths. set up and extra tables and things. And it's like, okay, we're going to Pepe's. And within like 5 minutes, it is so organized that there's like one person is going over and getting drinks over here. There are like 4 or 5 tables pulled together, extra seats set up, going on. These guys are ordering the pizza over here, getting stuff taken care of.
Holy
and it's
shit.
just like this well-oiled machine. 3 nights in a fucking row.
That's pretty brilliant, man. But did you
Yeah,
have a
it was
pizza
just like-
ninja?
We had multiple pizza ninjas, but they were part of our crew. It was
So
just
they
like
were
we're sitting
the
there
Pizza
and
Ninja
all-
clan.
Yeah, it must be. There's like training, and some of the Dorkening folks are in on the training for an ninja.
So we need to have the pizza ninjas fight the fruit ninjas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do want to point out, and I said to her that we were so impressed that we were going to bring her up. Her name is Kelly,
Yes.
and it is spelled Kellye.
Yep.
And she told me her mom just wanted something different, so they smacked the E on the back there.
Yep.
And she was so wonderful, and I told her how impressed we were and this and that. And
Oh, yeah.
I actually sat down, did a whole thing on Google, gave them a 5-star, told them how great it was, and
Yep.
I even put thank you, Kelly. So if Kelly ever sees this podcast, which, you know, she probably already forgot about us because she,
Yeah.
you know, she was
I don't know. We were
fighting-
talking and
fighting
having
whatever.
very odd, loud conversations that everyone around us could definitely hear.
Oh,
I-
yeah,
she may
yeah.
remember.
Oh, even those guys.
And making videos for Fred and other, like, we sent Fred like 10 fucking videos of us just harassing him all day.
And then I called him today, by the way.
Oh no, he fucked with me, and literally, like, in the manager chat for the haunt, like he was like, he made this fucked up comment to me about how I wouldn't be so tired if I didn't hang out with Pyle all day. But like, so like we leave there and we're like, fuck, man, we have like. We didn't know what time the movie was going to be, guys. The movie was at 6:15. We initially got to the convention at 9:30 in the morning. So that's why we went on these like spirited adventures and did weird shit because we could. We got back, we hung out. The guy and his wife and the dog event happened. And of course, you know, I'm chiefing out here and there on the vape outside of the van. Here and there, you know, like I had a sufficient level of buzz going, I'd say, throughout the day. And we're just getting to the point where, like, we've been harassing the vendors. We even got one of the vendors to send a message to Fred at one point, a video.
We did.
We talked to everybody so much. And also, a good friend of mine, Pete, that runs Bell Book and Comic, who you might know from Silence's Crimson 2. I got to run into him and talk to him a little bit. He was asking about the book. He's going to get his own copy here soon. So I got to actually, you know, catch back up with him for a little bit and talk to him. So that was super cool. He finds it absolutely hilarious that he's in a book. But we kind of like just caught up with like and made all these new friends and talked to all these awesome people, and then just stood around. And then we were so excited for this. What the site claimed was an award-winning movie, and I still don't know how that is a thing. Listen, it's a found footage movie. It doesn't take itself seriously. It's kind of a comedy horror. It's like a movie that tries to take it seriously, but like, you know, from the people who made it that it wasn't made seriously. It just doesn't come across as supposing to be funny. It's awkward funny. And it's about the Loveland Frog and a guy that sees the Loveland Frog as a child and gets video footage, and now he's an adult and people think it was staged, and you know, his whole life has been about, oh, you're a liar, you're a fraud, and he's finally tired of it as, like, you know, into his adulthood, and he's decided to get 2 of his friends to go back to Loveland and find the frog again on video. You find out all kinds of things about the frog, man. Like, if you know about the frog, and there's a lot of different depictions of what it is, what it isn't. Some say it's got a magic wand. Some say it could actually be an alien. Well, they combine kind of every bit of lore you've ever heard all in one thing, including a cult that sprung up. But this frog, hold on, Michelle has prepared a statement because I don't want to use a particular word that I just don't like using. So this frog magically coerces women to have sex against their will to produce offspring. And that is the point of the cult, to aid the frog in this endeavor with its magic wand, because it employs mind control in order for this to happen. And yes, there's a birthing scene with a woman giving birth to a frog kid, I guess we'll say, because it's not a frog man yet. It's a little wee frog. It is one of the most.
They said
confusing movies.
tadpole.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. Right. They did.
They said tadpole.
You're right. You're right. They did say tadpole. No. They didn't say tadpole. They called it a pollywog.
That's right.
It was the pollywog. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just to see this part. It is like the camera got slammed onto the side, and you see something gooey just flipping a flipper.
Yeah, it's very confusing. Every trope you've ever seen in found footage movies represented. I only had one really major complaint with this. The biggest problem is that they use the flickering aspect that you see once in a while in found footage films, and like 15 minutes in the movie was just that. Like, Del, you could probably never watch the whole ending of this movie. It's that. It's. I don't have a seizure disorder of any kind, but it was
hard.
It was hard for us to sit there and watch. Like, I had to actually look away a couple times because I just felt like my head was going to explode all of a sudden.
Right.
It was that part was really tough. But I mean, is it a movie that I would like run out and tell my friends to watch? I don't know. I rarely say this, but maybe not. But they had fun making it.
Where can we watch it, and can we put it on Tomb of the Terrible?
Right. So I we'll have to find that out because they don't have digital versions of it at the moment. That I'm aware of yet. They only had VHS and Blu-ray copies for sale for sale there. So when it's on digital, yeah, we'll definitely want to get a copy of it and do it on Tomb. I mean, they had a lot of fun making it, but just the coercion and the the sexual situations were really odd. The cult setup was very strange. And then you find out towards the end of the movie, here's where the award-winning part comes in. The con got the description of the movie wrong when they explained to us what we were buying tickets for. They actually used part of the description on the back of the movie itself because they were confused. In the movie, the guy is making a documentary that turns into an award-winning documentary inside the film. The film itself that we watched was not award-winning, but the documentary in the movie was award-winning. So there was a lot of confusion going into this movie.
Meta.
It was meta. It was very meta, and we were just not prepared. We did not go into this movie properly prepared. I think if I was sufficiently stoned, the experience would have been a lot different. But Pyle and I, of course, enjoyed it immensely because we were just sitting there doing Mystery Science Theater style commentary to each other like throughout the entire thing that people around us apparently found amusing as well.
You forgot that part. Your poster.
Oh, yes. I can't unfold it because it's also huge and I want to laminate it as well. I found out it's double-sided, by the way. That print is actually double-sided. It blew my mind. I did not know that. So this amazing artist usually does a lot of aviation work. I got his name on a card. I forgot to pull it out because I'm a moron, but I'll pop that up later. He did this giant, amazing print for Mystery Science Theater 3000. Like, and on this print, it's got like pieces of like so many different movies they've ripped. Like, it's an amazing, enormous print. Like, it would take up all the wall space behind me, this print. And the deal was, you had to ask him how you could win it. And he had 3 copies of this giant print that he made. And you had to sign up for his email list. And he had a giant green, like this big D20. You could either roll the giant one or just a little normal D20. I'm like, fuck it, I want to roll the big one. And if you landed on a 20, you won a copy of this print. And I found out later that this print is worth over $100, by the way. And I literally grabbed it and I said, I'm feeling lucky. And I threw, I rolled the big giant D20 on his table, fucking nat 20 immediately. And I won his first giveaway of the day. But he couldn't remember which section underneath of the different tables and setups he had they were. So I was like, Pyle was like, we'll come back in a little bit and check. It's cool. I was like, yeah, we're going to be here all day. And then we get like 3 or 4 booths down and you hear him scream, I found it. And he like runs over to us and hands it to us. But I'll get his name up a little bit later.
Amazing.
Dude, brilliant guy. We talked to him a lot during the con too. And I've got his name over here. I'll find it and I'll make sure I put it up like in some show notes or I'll give him a separate shout out. But like,
you freaked out when you rolled that 20.
Dude, I was like,
he was like a little kid. He's like, oh!
holy shit!
And the guy looked at it and he goes, "Damn."
Yeah.
Like, come on.
It's only a couple. I think there was only like 2 or 3 names of people like, and this was like within the first like half an hour, 45 minutes. The con even like
That's
started.
what he said. He's like, I haven't even been here like a half hour open.
He's like, and I've already got a winner. I only got 3 of these things. But it was such a cool random day of like cryptid, because we actually got to do some cryptid hunting technically. But it was a wacky day. But like seeing this movie spawned something that we kind of want to loosely announce right now without too many details. You'll get more details as we go because it's us. What you guys don't know about Owlite is there's a lot of different versions of Owlite. You've got your Owlite, which is the podcasting that you see. You've got some Owlite publishing type stuff that Del and I have been working on in the background. We've talked a little bit about in the past, and I'm sure we'll talk about again in the future. But you also have Owlite Pictures, which is something we've also kind of talked about but haven't quite got off the ground. Well, after being inspired by this film, we've decided to finally bring out the Owlite Pictures label and do our own cryptid found footage film. It's going to be a straight up comedy horror. It's going to be called The Bewildered Beast. Now, The Bewildered Beast is an important title because back in high school, I convinced every teacher I had throughout all of high school to let me do all my final papers in video format. I remember at one point in time, the first one I ever did was I had to write a sequel to The Odyssey. Like it's supposed to be like a short story. No, I did a 15-minute short film involving Cain and vampires, and Odysseus was a vampire. And partway through it, breaking news, you see a guy reporter style walking through a park going, "Notice the shredded tire. The Bewildered Beast has been here." And the whole thing was just this guy going through and just noting everything you ran across and tied it to this local sighting of this beast who no one could remember what it looked like because they were bewildered. So I talked to Pyle about this, and literally for the next couple hours, all we did was talk about what we would do to make a movie like this. And we're already now to the point where we're breaking everything down and sorting out what the budget would be. So we're actually pretty far in the planning for only less than 24 hours of about 24 hours of discussing this. So at some point in time this year,
there was no alcohol involved in the thought process on any of this.
No.
We're just that damn crazy.
And I wasn't any more stoned than, actually less stoned than usual, to be completely honest with you. Way less stoned than usual. It just happened. So now this is going to happen, and we're all going to be in this movie together. And at some point in time, we'll do some giveaways. So maybe you too could appear in the movie. But we'll do all kinds of fun little things for this. But it will be a feature length. We're talking 70 to 80 minutes long. Traditional length for an indie found footage movie. But we're really excited about it. So the Bewildered Beast.
We're going to teach everybody how tornadoes are created.
Yep, by driving around roundabouts.
Because Ron threw a spinning hook kick and a tornado was created.
Yep.
I'll see if the dresser people can use my camera to get some footage of me sleeping.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Throughout the day.
Notice the sleeping Del. The Bewildered Beast has been here.
So Raz, I have a question.
Yeah.
From our previous conversations, I have one goal in life that I want to accomplish.
Yes, and that is being looped into this. We are going to be doing this. Yes, 100%. That is also something we mentioned about how much you wanted to be in something. And the cool thing is, a lot of the filming we're talking, a big chunk of the filming we're talking about doing is actually in Columbus. So we're going to be able to come kidnap you and actually have you help us on set with things, especially fight choreography.
Yes, it has to be something specific. I want to be in a martial arts fight in a movie.
Yes, and I feel like you fighting the Bewildered Beast would be a brilliant sequence of events.
But I totally have to die.
Oh yeah, 100%. You're definitely going to die. The Bewildered Beast is totally going to kill you.
Spoiler alert: the movie's not even made yet. And spoiler alert!
Oh yeah, spoiler alert! Rob's going to die.
Bewildered Beast.
Yeah.
We have a whole list of people that's going to die, and everybody's going to say,
it's a whole thing.
I'm totally in.
Yeah,
I'll throw money at it if I have to.
Our owl has a
I'll
name.
throw money.
For some reason, the name of our owl has escaped me.
We have Hooter and
no. Like our owl for the network, it has a name. It's always had a name, but it's been so long since we talked about it. Do you guys remember the name of the owl?
No.
We have it written. I
never-
swear I've got it written down somewhere. Like this was a conversation. This was like 6 or 7 months ago. Probably we named this owl our
Mooney.
signature owl.
Mooney.
But either way, he will appear in the movie as well.
I say
They.
now we call him Alfred.
Yeah, Alfred. But our owl, our beloved owl, is also will be playing the part of the bewildered beast. So we've already cast our owl. The main villain is it's our owl.
He is able to take on many forms.
Yes, and he'll have a magic staff with a lantern.
And I think I know somebody that wants to help build it.
Yeah. I was going to talk to you about that later too. We literally already have someone capable of fully building the suit for this owl. It's going to be brilliant. In fact, our budget probably is largely going to be the creation of the suit for this owl. They're going to look at this owl and be like, "How did they not have a budget for an?" Oh, okay, I see. Yep.
Wait a second. Does that mean that we can take our owl to the conventions?
Yes,
And march it around.
Legitimately, that means we will be able. Yeah, we'll be able to take the owl costume to conventions to further promote Owlite. Yes, that is what that
That would
means.
lead perfectly into the other news that you have about an upcoming convention.
In fact, thank you, because that's the segue I was going for. It is official, guys. I got the email this week. Owlite is an official press outlet for Horror Hound coming up at the end of this month in Sharonville, Ohio, March 22nd to 24th. Your favorite Matt from Mats and Monsters and the D&D show will be accompanying me as members of the press to potentially get a lot of interviews while we're down there, a lot of promoting. We're going to sit in all the panels. We also now have full access to the entire film festival that's going on down there. And of course, we're bringing Michelle and Brooklyn along, so we need some help too, right? And it's going to be a blast.
Bring me
guys.
along too if you want. I mean, I'll carry bags for you.
Hell yeah!
And
But even Pyle's going to make an appearance on that Sunday.
next week we will be hosting a Horror Hound themed padded cell. So
I'm going to even work out trying to get some people from Horror Hound with us to talk about a little bit if we can. But yeah, it's our first official. We are now the fucking press and get to go to cons, and it's. I didn't think it was going to happen. Like, I literally secretly, without telling anyone here, that I put in for it like quite some time ago, and then I magically just got the email, and I couldn't even speak. Like, I had to tell Michelle, and Matt had just come home from work, and me and Matt totally geeked out. I think I smoked like 5 or 6 cigarettes immediately, one after the other, just sitting there at my computer going, "What the fuck?"
waiting for me to wake
Is that
up.
like one of those cartoons where it starts here, goes around here, it's out, and he's got like
Yeah,
five
pretty
of
much.
them in his
But
mouth?
yeah, that's exactly how I smoke. I mean, you see me in person, that's exactly how I smoke.
I wake up and there's just like, I gotta tell you something. I'm
Oh, dude.
like, oh, I'm waking up. I got my shit. Gotta take my meds. Gotta just. But I have some really cool stuff to tell you. So we gotta sit. Okay, I'll get on. And then it was really exciting. And then I was like, so awake. Oh my
yeah.
God, was I awake?
I went from celebrating, the first official Leap anniversary, 4 years ago on Leap Day, this past Leap Days when Michelle and I got married. I went from celebrating that, which was awesome, to getting that email, to the wonderful Frogman adventure yesterday. Like, I've had a pretty eventful, exciting week, man. I've been pretty happy with things. Honestly, it's helped with my depression quite tremendously to have actually really good things all happening and going on. Like, it's fucking amazing. And I thought I'd retired from film, and I've been thinking about it a lot on and off, behind the scene and in front of the camera. I had convinced myself that I was done, and like just sitting with Pyle and talking about that made me realize that I still have all this passion for film, and it's just something I didn't think I was going to have the opportunity to really do right again. But now, like, I'm completely re-jazzed up about all of that now too.
Yeah, and
if you're gonna do it on your own terms, man. And this sounds like a perfect project to do that with. And I'm fully behind it. Totally support it.
We're all gonna have a lot of fun.
Absolutely loved getting footage of me trying to get in the van when someone parked way too damn close.
There's footage of all kinds of hilarious shit that when I finish putting this video together that you guys are gonna die over. Like, we found out that Pyle and I together in the same place going on adventures is probably terrible for the world, but we really enjoy it. Because we even got a milk cake when it was all over, which was fantastic as well.
Yeah,
Well,
we
it's for the
sent
world,
Fred a
but great
message
for media
there too.
content.
All that, and they still stopped at UDF and got milkshakes. It was brilliant.
Yep. That did not bring the boys to the yard.
No, they did not. Unfortunately, the frogmen definitely, but I was afraid of the wand and the mind control and the sexual relations. I didn't feel like having a polywog, so we had to get the hell out of there.
Dude, we ended up sending Fred 7 messages.
Was it 7?
Yeah, it was 7.
5, I think, just at Loveland. Or at the
right, and one was them saying, "We miss you, Fred. Sorry you're not here," or something like that.
They never met Fred. They don't know who Fred is.
Oh man, they had no idea who Fred was. It's like, hey, can I ask you to do me a favor? What's the favor? One person goes, yeah, and everyone's like, what's the favor? But
you guys need to go randonauts tonight.
Here,
Randonauts.
Let me try replaying this for you.
Hi, Fred. Wish you were here.
I mean, you
they
can tell.
Didn't know Fred at all. Like they just
they had no idea who Fred was. Had nothing, but they have seen me at Carnage. When they set up at Carnage so many times, and then I told them I was going to be there, and it was like, oh. And every time we went past their booth, Raz was just like staring and clawing. And
they had a Wendigo mask, like a full head Wendigo mask that was brilliant. They don't know this yet, but they're who's going to create the owl suit, because they do mascot suits and stuff like that as well. And like the way they talk about them, the passion that they have for building things like this, it's amazing. The work they do is just so fantastic, man. I was enthralled by their work.
We haven't contacted them yet. So,
yeah, they don't know this yet, but
if they're watching the podcast at some point,
well, like a suit like that, depending on how much detail you want to go into, it's probably going to run you like $1,000, $2,000.
Probably.
Oh yeah, but we absolutely want to put different vendors into the con, and these vendors are going to be like having different items.
Yeah, we're actually going to throw a convention for Bewilderbeast, an actual real convention where people could come sell cryptid stuff and do stuff. Like that's the plan right now. And a lot of the filming is actually going to be done at this con. So like we got a lot of irons in the fire right now within less than 24 hours trying to figure shit out. And there's a lot of questions, like there's a lot of Scream Queens perhaps we can get. There's a lot of crowdfunding things that we can do to get this off the ground. Like we've got a lot of ideas. There could be sequels, man.
We need to find one person that just looks at us and says, "Here, just take my money."
Yeah. That's what we're working on now.
We're looking for sugar daddies, and we will be taking applicants.
You should talk to Huge.
Oh yeah, 100% for the soundtrack, definitely.
Well, I just meant put him in the movie since he did Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, I might be able to. Well, I mean, he lives out in Columbus, so
throwback.
He lives over in Columbus, so I think maybe if I can get him to write the title song. Oh, we can get him to write the actual Bewilderbeast song and film him like performing it at the convention.
Right,
that'd be awesome.
That'd be epic as fuck.
Because then you could actually put clips of that, like at the end when the credits are rolling. Of him performing the song.
What about Small Town Monsters?
Oh yeah, we get Small Town Monsters over there. There's a lot of really cool people we can get, but one of the other biggest thing is any prop that we do, makeup, effects, and things like that. We talked about this a little bit. We talked about like wanting to only use like vendors and stuff and people that are in the haunted attraction industry too. Because that it's what it is,
Push the haunt.
Yeah, and speaking of haunts, there's another piece of news that Pyle has. Another announcement.
Yeah, I can actually change this now, right? Is it time to change?
You can for a minute.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, here. I'll even be nice enough and get out of there.
Should we do the dun dun dun?
Dun, dun.
So, starting March 15th and every other Friday, I am going to have my own show on the Elliott Network. And if you guys don't know, I love haunts. I love. Oh my gosh. And there's so many people that look at me and they're just like, it's just a haunt. there is so much that go into haunts. There's so much that goes into building, into everything that is the haunt industry. So every other Friday that we have a show, and it's going to be called Chainer's Haunted Secrets. We're going to have anywhere from vendors that build different things for haunts. We're going to have makeup people. We're going to have owners, and we're just going to have some different haunters actually come in. And I'm actually going to ask some of the haunters, hey, can you be in character while you're doing this? That way, we don't just get the person. We actually get the person in the costume that maybe the character could actually answer the questions.
That'd be cool. Character
That's
interviews.
something that, yeah. So this is something that we're really working on, and I can tell you now, I've got a list. And the greatest thing is, with this list, the first one is someone that is really, really, truly right there with my heart. It is the owner of Carnage Haunted House in Columbus, Ohio. And she absolutely told us that we can give some tickets away. So we are going to give away tickets on the first episode, which is March 15th at 9:00. So we'll be doing that.
And that's for their Easter show, which is March 24th or 23rd. So basically that night, I'm going to be leaving the con and traveling an hour, 20 minutes away to meet up for this whole event for us to, me and Pyle, to hang out with the contest winners, to take them through the haunt and hang out. And then I'm going to be driving back to the con.
And this is the craziness of me and Raz. I bought a van, and for some reason,
like, dude, you don't understand. This is a giant fucking panel van with like so many rows of seats. It's ridiculous.
And you know what? The thing is, what we're trying to do is we want to save you guys a little gas. So if we have winners that are anywhere around that we can go ahead and bring you along with us. We want to save gas on you. We want to have a chit chat. Me and Raz are just two nutcases that just want to do this.
We're gonna pick you up in a panel van and torture you and take you to a haunt and see what happens.
Right, and
that sounds like McCamey Manor.
Yeah, there might be a frogman with a magic wand in the back seat. Just don't sit in the back seat because that's where the frogman in it with his wand, and it's gonna.
And you know what? This is the van that we use for my haunt.
I just want to say I'm closer than Friday.
What's that?
I'm closer than Janie is.
So
she's a longer drive.
Well, that's the thing. It can carry 8 people, and we have 3 that are going to go. It is me, Raz, and his wife, and then we have 5 that are going to win the tickets. So 1 person and 4 of their friends get to go, and then they get to go. And if they take us up on that, we can transport them, and you guys will save fuel. I'm a very good driver, according to a lot of people, including Raz.
Y'all know I'm actually like mildly terrified of like riding in vehicles because of accidents and stuff. But I'll tell you, like, not even once for a second did like his driving bother me, and I'm really hardcore about like freaking out about other people driving. He's an amazing driver, amazing.
It sounds like we need to have a road trip to go pick up Jenny and Dell.
We do.
So as we go through and we work out everything, whoever wins, if you are close enough and we can pick you up, we can bring you there. We will absolutely do that. But it's got to be down the I-75 between Shelby County and Dayton, and Dayton to Columbus for us to be able to do this with you. So if you travel to Dayton, we could go ahead and all meet up at Hell's Dungeon, and then from Hell's Dungeon we'll go ahead and go straight to Carnage.
And maybe if the owner
right by me to get the Carnage, right?
What's that?
You have to come right by me to get the Carnage.
Well, I ain't got room.
I'll sit on somebody's lap.
I'll stick you in the cooler.
Okay.
No, just bring the trailer that day, and we'll put him in the trailer.
Oh my God!
If the riding doesn't work, you can still get pictures in the panel van. You know.
Oh yeah.
If they don't need the ride, you can still get pictures.
Right. And absolutely. And the thing is, we're going to plan everything out where we actually get there to the beginning of Carnage. That way, if you guys travel to Carnage, you're not waiting for us.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure that everybody gets checked in. Everybody's good to go.
Yeah.
And we'll do that. And if you guys go with us, there's a good possibility that there's just going to be some pizza bought. And we just eat pizza all the way. I'm a really cool guy, and I will bring a cooler full of different stuff. And if y'all want to have some drinks and this and that, now we're talking about non-alcohol because I don't have the license to do a party bus.
Yeah.
But this is something that me and Raz has been talking about, and honestly, I have no problem with it. I like hanging out with people. You just might see me yelling and screaming at the top of my lungs at someone that cut us off.
No promises.
So have we said the name of the show?
Chainer's Haunted Secrets. See, she's got it all figured out.
Dun, dun, dun. And it's cool because we talk about Fred all the fucking time, but Fred's never been on one of our shows. Well, the second show of that podcast, he's actually going to be a guest on. So, like,
actually
going to
he's
meet the Fred. Or is it the third?
Actually,
show?
He is like the fourth.
Oh, sorry, the fourth guest. Sorry, but you guys actually get to meet Fred and see who I work for. That's gonna be awesome.
So as of right now, I have Mia from Carnage. I have Mike Ross from Sinister Sydney, and then I have Wicked FX. Wicked FX. They're just going to be coming back from Transworld, so I'm sure they're going to have some fun stories from there. And then
all these people are coming back from Transworld. Like by the time you're doing the show, yeah.
Then I've got Fred, and I just got another one that just popped in, and I'm excited because this is going to be Troy. That is going to be May 10th. Troy actually runs a group of tours that go from haunt to haunt to haunt to haunt. And this is something that a lot of people don't get to experience. So this is what we want to do, and I'm really excited about that because honestly,
is that down in Kentucky? Is that the Troy I'm thinking of that goes like the 7 or 8 different haunts that are like right in that small area in Lexington?
He actually goes around.
He does more than just that, yeah.
Yeah, but he actually lives down in Texas. He's like a really big person to go ahead and do the Texas convention. And
Scares the care. I know he goes to that one.
Yeah, he's just a wonderful person, and I do believe Froggy Fog helps them with that, and we will probably even have Froggy Fog come on here.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, this is something that's very passionate to me. I've said it many times over. The haunt industry saved my life because it gave me a big purpose to do stuff. And the thing is, I want to share it with everybody. And honestly, you've got 3 haunters that are in this group right now.
Yeah.
But you have
4,
2 of them.
Actually, only 3 are here currently.
Right. But you have 2 of them that's in this chat room right now that's talking. And they don't know much about the haunt industry to the point that they can't wait to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one of the things that I wanted to bring up to this and kind of get it where you're kind of opening a door and kind of seeing what's behind this and understanding a little bit about this industry because it is one of a kind. You don't have a Christmas industry nearly as big as you have a haunt industry.
That's for damn sure.
Well, I know you're talking about haunters coming on and actually doing it in character and having them answer the questions in character. I know of I've got one person in mind I think would be great for
in
that.
Your bottom? I hope so.
You're gonna come in the thong one night.
Read my mind.
She's on my radar, man. Don't you worry. But yeah, I mean, there's so many haunters. There's Stitches the Clown. A lot of them. I even want to go and do some footage with sliders and have sliders come on
Yeah.
and talk
That's
about
awesome.
the importance of practicing what you're doing.
You know,
That way, you know.
we have we're blessed to have a couple that slides together at our haunt, and they are truly, I mean, just super amazing people. And they're also cosplayers. They do all
Right.
kinds of crazy. I'm sure they would love to join us for some of that as well.
I was going to ask you about them because I also want
Kyle
to
and
bring
Ray, yeah.
in. I also want to bring in. Boy, I can't remember her name right
Beth
now.
Metcalf.
Yep.
I knew that's who you were going to talk. I love
I
Beth.
want to
yeah.
bring her in, and I want to bring in.
You know, she works in the film industry also. Like, she
Yeah.
not only does haunt, she actually has a band, and she's in the film industry.
Right. I want to bring in her, and I want to bring in Bree.
Because you
Brittany.
got to hit Beth up for the movie too. You know.
Yeah, I already talked to her the one day, and she said, "Yeah, absolutely.
Hell
if
yeah.
you want to contact her for that."
Oh, definitely.
But
definitely. I love Beth.
So, like I said, the hunt industry is something that's so amazing. You have a little hunt to a medium size to a gigantic one. I want to get a
right down
hold
to home
of 13
in your yards, man. Like that home hunting is a real big thing too.
Yeah, even that. I want to get a hold of 13 floors and see if they can bring in Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have Frankie because that is a whole thing called Don't Be a Monster. And if you know 13 floors, that Don't Be a Monster is absolutely an anti-bullying campaign that they actually have Frankies all around that can go to schools and do it.
Yeah. And there's also a Hunters Against Hate, which is a fantastic organization. Hopefully we get a chance to talk to as well. But like, I'm sure you guys are wondering, like, okay, you did a 24-hour stream. How are you going to top yourselves? Well, here you go. Convention appearances, a movie, a new show. Like, guys, like, you know, get on the bandwagon here. Like, tell your friends, tell your family. You know, mug people, throw them in penalties. Yeah, like and subscribe. Give us all your monies. You know, we got a movie to make, so we need your money more than ever.
Follow us on
Sit
Twitch.
on the corner.
Yeah, Twitch.
And held up a sign that says Owlite Network.
Owlite or bust. Just by the highway.
Right there.
Or go to our T-Public site and grab yourself a shirt for one of our shows.
Yes.
We still want to get a hold of Tubi. That way we can
Tubi.
start doing
We're
the whole
waiting,
Tubi
man.
or not to be.
Yeah.
That was a whole thing that we were talking about.
Yeah. Got a lot of irons in the fire this year, guys. A lot going on. Also, what would you like to see us do? Like, you're hearing all this crazy shit we're planning. Like, is there anything we haven't done or haven't talked about yet that you want us to do? I mean, we've even got some upcoming episodes here soon of Owlite Radio coming back with the some more installments of the Hunter's Handbook. So like there's a lot more of that coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Like we've got a lot of great guests for our normal shows. We've got a lot of shows coming out, new shows, existing shows changing days, additional gaming stuff. Like we have a lot going on, and within like the next week, you're going to see us popping up on Twitch doing live streams for WWE 2K24. We're going to be doing some of that on top of our normal, wrestling shows. So like, there's just so much to be excited about right now.
So
we just can't hold it in, and we can't wait to see what we can do for you guys.
Yeah,
with you
this
guys.
Is something I want to suggest to you guys. This is something that I thought of when so we have like Raz and Pyle's Excellent Adventures going on. And I obviously probably can't use that title for it, but maybe on one of your Legends by Night, because this is something I came across on YouTube that's got a cross between kind of an urban legend and an actual really fuckery weird thing. Do you guys know Randonautica?
Yes, I've heard of it.
I've heard of it. I don't know what it is.
I don't have a lot of experience.
So it's an app you put on your phone, and you go ahead and like put in where you are, and then you can choose different options on like a certain type of site or an intention or something like that, and it will randomly spout off latitude and longitude close to you, and you're supposed to go there and look for something. It'll be like something that will change your life. So people will be like, they're looking for something happy, and but most of the ones that they put on YouTube are like, I was focusing on death, or something scary. And so people have come across dead bodies.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I mean, it's like
I know
precisely
what you're talking about.
latitude and longitude. There's a certain brand of suitcase that keeps showing up.
Are we gonna
where
stand
people
by
are
me?
at, and
Are we
they
gonna have a stand by me segment where me and Pyle just find random bodies and poke them with
Yeah,
sticks?
these people. There's
be
like
nice.
these teenagers who show up, and there's this suitcase that has been seen on different ones, and they're starting to think that it's a thing, but they start poking at it and smelling it and call the police, and it's like part of a body in this same suitcase type that's shown up in different states at different places. And
I'm so in.
like people out in the woods, and they aren't really paying attention, but they walk and find like, oh, there's this abandoned car, and then when they get back
This
home and
sounds
start
like the
listening, there's
setup for a
people
horror
talking in the
story on No
background and
Sleep.
stuff.
Yeah, it does.
It is, but I've watched a bunch of the different videos, and it was a big TikTok thing that people
We
would
gotta
do.
do this.
That they'll find, like one person was.
It's like
thinking
a
about
more
the other
intense
day-
Atlas Obscura.
Yeah, and they showed up. They showed up at a place where it was like the thing led them to a couple that were pulled off on the side of the road because the guy was having a heart attack and they didn't have a phone, and they were the people who called the ambulance, and if nobody else had done that, it would have been like they said the people estimated like he would have had 5 minutes left or he would have been dead in 5 minutes if they hadn't called the ambulance right when they did. And just
Based on
shit like
coordinates
that.
they got from this app, they showed up and saved somebody's life.
Yeah.
So send me these videos. I gotta see these things.
Yeah, just look up but I think that would be like, you guys should do one and then like see if there's anybody else who's done it that wants to talk about their experiences or something.
So you mentioned Raz and Pyle's Excellent Adventures. You can't use that name obviously because of Bill and Ted, but why not instead of awesome, you have Raz and Pyle's Awesome Adventures, OWLSOME.
Ooh, that would work.
So I do want to point out, if you guys really, really, really know me, and any of my friends would ever be on here, they would absolutely tell you. There's not a vehicle I don't have a fire extinguisher for.
Yep.
Okay.
My van has a fire extinguisher attached to the driver's seat. The trailer has got a fire extinguisher in it. My car's got 3 fire extinguishers in it. And
the trailer's got a fire extinguisher.
Yeah. The stupidest dang thing, and I will point this out, is I use them. I come up to things, and I was driving down I-75 one day, and I told my wife, I said, we're all good, this and that. We're just going to Sydney. And the entire ditch was on fire. And I told her, I said, you might want to get the big one. And a guy goes, and he's like, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm pulling out this ditch. And he was just like, how'd this happen? I don't know.
I just showed up and it was on fire.
So it's a stupid thing. I go on adventures. I go on this and that. And my wife, we were going down to Myrtle Beach, and sure as the heck, there was a car on fire, just absolutely engulfed in fire. And she goes, number 1, that's on the other side of the interstate. You can't get to it. Number 2, the fire extinguisher ain't going to be enough, so don't even try it. I said, fair enough. Continue, shall we? No fire trucks there yet, but still. So as we go on these adventures, I need to make sure that we understand that we need to have a fire extinguisher, a first aid kit, because stupid shit happens.
Yeah, it does.
You have a weirdness magnet.
Oh yeah. And Raz does it. If it takes you out to the fucking woods, which it's going to take you out to the fucking woods, you know this, because and some of them it's like they follow the things, and it'll be like, then you go off the road, then you go down a dirt track, then you have to leave your car behind to walk to the actual spot in the woods where your goal is at.
I'm down for
the dead body is.
Maybe I'll finally find out what Guardian in the Woods means after all, like these adventures.
And Kyle, you are not allowed to play the left-right game.
Oh God, no!
Oh, dude, we're so gonna play the left-right game. We're still gonna play it.
No,
you tell me. You tell me what the game is, and it's on.
There's a whole damn podcast for it, Pyle. You just have to listen to it because it gets very convoluted.
And,
I'll tell you
about
it.
The weirdest shit about that, the one that takes place in Phoenix, my last SO, is from Phoenix, and like when they start describing everything, he's like, "Oh, actually, pull that up on the map. They're right here." Because this mannequin that he describes wearing a gray sweater is in, or this lady in the gray sweater where they're looking through the thing in the mirror is right here. And then, okay, yeah, they're, and like, it's totally on, like, they use the actual route for the beginning thing of like,
Of
if
it,
you were from
the
Phoenix, you
story.
would recognize the thing. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Actually, my roommate, we used to do this kind of stuff together all the time, like a lot of paranormal investigation, weird stuff. So, like, if it's a day he's off, we might be able to toss him in the van and make him go with us.
So what you're saying
look up the podcast, the Left Right Game.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, I need to go and make sure I have plenty of gardening tools in the back of the van, just in case it goes south, right?
A lot of things, yeah.
Well, it'll go south, and if you're playing the Left Right Game, expect it to go south.
And north and east and west.
Spring water and
left and right
granola
and left and right.
bars and
We may need some wet beer, man.
In the back of my van, I looked at Raz. I was like, hold on, I have plenty of water. And I go and I'm like grabbing water bottles, and I was like, oh yeah, hey, try this. And he's like, what the heck? It's not Mountain Dew, but it's a knockoff.
It's a generic Mountain Dew, yeah.
You need like a week's worth of supplies if you're gonna play that game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not shitting you. That's
Or
something
more.
else. Bring toilet paper.
Yeah.
Because you don't just stop playing the left-right game.
And that's what rabbits are for. We'll just shit in the woods. You know, they make good toilet paper.
Unless you're allergic like I am, then you'll die.
Yep. I mean,
I will give
rash.
I will give everybody the best advice I have ever been given. If you're going to go and take a crap in a woods, at no point do you use a snowball to clean yourself. There's a nerve cluster, and if you freeze it, it is so painful, and you just hit the ground almost screaming.
Does that mean you become tainted?
Frozen tainted.
So you get brain
we can-
freeze in your lower regions.
Yep.
Yep.
The thing that Mothman ate? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not nearly
Denny's
as
parking lot.
interesting, but and you made me think of a warning that I never thought of until my neurologist told
nearly
me.
killed him.
But so I get like, migraines and stuff sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And my neurologist was like, use an ice pack, but make sure you have it, you don't leave it on too long or don't fall asleep with it on. Make sure you have something like between the ice pack and your head.
Yep.
Because you can get freezer burn on your head.
Mhm.
Frostbite.
Yep.
Human freezer burn, frostbite.
Yep.
And it never occurred to me that you could get frostbite from an ice pack. But
No,
there's
you
an
can.
educational lesson for you too, guys.
Especially really good
there's
ice
a whole
packs that will
story
actually-
with the snowball. Had a manager, and boy, you know what? That's what we'll do on one of those shows that. Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell the story that my manager told about him going hunting, and
I mean, at least the snow wasn't yellow, you know?
Oh no,
it was brown, apparently.
It was brown.
No, it was white until it touched him.
Yeah. Then it was brown, black, and red.
Don't eat brown snow either.
Just don't eat snow.
That's just the snow you sniff. You don't eat it.
So that's what I got.
All right.
The snow was tainted.
Literally.
So 2.5 hours in here. Well, 2 hours and 18 minutes in.
Welcome to the padded cell.
Lots
I
of
think
gaming and
we've-
adventures.
I think we've lost the path here.
There was a path.
Was there a path to be?
I don't know.
Well, the first
We're trying
hour
to
was
find
video
Mankrik's wife,
games.
but
The second
We
hour
better
was
be in Corpus
Frogman.
somewhere. Oh my god, that's what we'll find on Random Nautica, but we'll find it in the real world. We'll find the beaten corpse in that same exact outfit just by us somewhere. in the
Well,
world.
why not type Frogman into Random Nautica?
But we already know where Frogman is, or the sightings. We already know that. We have to find things we don't know.
And we don't want to find
He's
him.
not at the castle.
It just wasn't
Dude,
then.
we don't want
you
to
know?
find him.
I mean, he had a whole
If he's
festival
anything like
going on.
what the
you know?
movie was, I don't want him.
Yeah, if it's that Frogman, I'm good. Because if I see a
I'm not
magic,
sure if you actually put the intent like the name, or if you just hit intent and then you manifest it in your thoughts as to what you want to try to find. Because some people go for happy experiences,
You'll
like
have to put it on
something
your
to
phone
cheer
because
them
my
up.
phone is so old. I guarantee you, like my phone will say that it is not good enough to have that app on it. So it is that shitty of a phone. So yeah, it'll have to go on
What if you type in Cthulhu?
Once again, I'm not. I think you have to like manifest it. Or
I
something.
know
I'm
that's
not
the
sure.
problem.
My entire life is the manifestation of Cthulhu. So if all I have to do is believe in myself, then I think we're good.
I have
You type in
reached a
Cthulhu
lot
and
of
you
things.
manifest it.
I've reached a lot of things I've manifested. Just now, if I could just figure out the manifesting of the money.
Yeah,
right.
That's the important thing.
You guys appeared out of nowhere.
$384,000 a month.
Maybe if we think about that on Random Nautica, we'll randomly get coordinates to a bank robbery in progress, and that'll solve our problem.
You get a reward for thwarting a bank robbery.
Here's the
your
loot.
$384,000.
Yeah. Simoleons.
Samoans.
The Samoans. Oh god, I have to play with those guys again. I want to start. I want to take the What the Fuck family and start doing some of the Gray Still Plays challenges with, like, not his stuff. I'll come up with my own, but he, like I mentioned before, he does really weird stuff. Like he'll be like, okay, I'm going to make, and he'll just randomly generate like 100 children, and he locks some of them outdoors in a fenced in area, and he puts some of them inside and like sees which ones do better, and he lets the game run on automatic. So like, you know, the kid goes, they
like
try to
Battle
feed
Royale.
themselves, and they set the, you know, the stove sets on fire, and so there's like kids dying from that, and there's puddles on the ground if they don't, there's too many lining up to use the bathroom at once, and all these different things are happening. And that one, actually, the kids who lived outside that were foraging and roughing it did a lot better than the ones on the inside did.
I bet.
Like they had computers and cell phones and all this other stuff, and the like ones on the outside were just like, we got a swing set, we win, yay. We live in a cage.
Power goes out, boom, the entire building kids go.
And
They
you
just
they
you
freeze.
get hungry and stuff, and your needs change, and you can die from certain stuff if you leave the settings that way. So we had one where it was
You
like
die of dysentery.
you had to climb like they had to
Wash your
climb up like
fucking hands.
3,000 stairs and go through a maze that would like every now and then have like a piece of food on there, or like a bathroom or something. But there's like but people were dying trying to get to the end of the thing, because you tell them like you give them the assignment that they just have to go do this one thing, but the way to get to that one thing is so hard that the Sims are just all dying trying to do it. They go swimming, they drown, they die of embarrassment at times. They can get so horrified by seeing somebody die and having death show up to collect them that it will scare them to death as well. So death will just start like collecting one after another. When he shows up at my place, though, because he's, you know, hanging out and he's got a crush on Bad Maid, like I had somebody brutally murdered in the basement of my Sims game, and Death showed up and like had a mop out and was like cleaning up the blood and everything. Well, she was playing bass for him. She's got an electric bass out and she's playing bass, and like all the ghosts are kind of freaking out and getting used to the new ghost. But yeah, Death's just like mopping, going over, smoking weed, hanging out. He's hooking people up. He's a dealer.
Your Sims game is very different than most Sims games.
I've heard that. Well, see, there's only like the first person died because he stole. There's a pet drink you can get in the pet pack, and I ordered the pet drink and I gave it to my pet, and somebody like I put it on the ground for the pet, and somebody fucking stole his drink and was like drinking the dog drink, and I was like, oh, you're dead. And you can change their clothes, and there's a sad clown outfit. And so I made every iteration of him that he could show up in the different colors and stuff as a sad clown ghost. And he is a bartender, or a mixologist, as they call them there. And so, like, there's a bar in the little basement room where I have her. It's a big basement. She has a suite, actually. Like, she has a bed area. She has sofas and a bookcase and a bathroom and a little kitchenette and stuff. But he'll like go over and start like making a drink, and then he'll just like set down the martini shaker and start crying and sobbing and holding himself, and then go back to pouring the drink and stuff. And there's another old man who stole my pet's drink, and I killed him and made his outfit be poorly matched plaid in a with like one of the ball or the golf caps and stuff. So but he had the greedy trait, and I didn't realize that. And I took the time to put joints and blunts all the way around the room on every single surface that there was. And with his greedy trait, he walked through and just like cycled the room and was just like puffing every single one of them like nobody else would get a chance to do stuff. And he kept trying to cock block the Grim Reaper too, because they'd go to sit on a sofa together and he'd like run in and sit down until the Grim Reaper was getting mad at him, but he couldn't do anything because he's already a ghost. And yeah, and they like there's urns on all these things, and there's like there are Reaper gnomes and there are ghost gnomes, and I have those alternating, and then when somebody dies I replace them with an urn. So these are the things I do. I got tired of people coming over to my house, so I spent an entire night going through every single Sims house that is an NPC or whatever in the entire map, like all of the different places that I had, and upgrading their technology so they don't just try to come into my house to use my computer and stuff. And then I went through and started visiting their homes, and they were all sitting there like at their big screens going crazy. Nobody was going out that night. All the clubs were empty. Everybody was at home. I also took trash plants and started planting them in every single available spot that I possibly could. And they smell nasty, and people get this so they would go into like, because my main characters in that game are vampires, I took them into the desert area and was like replacing every single plant, every single plot of earth, and every single potted plant indoors that I could with trash plants. So people are like trying to order drinks and vomiting and stuff because it's like such a nasty place, but they really want to drink.
You should try to work in Deadly Grounds coffee into your game.
Yeah.
I could try.
You have enough Reapers mopping. You got the Deadly Grounds.
Yeah. I just got the weirdest idea. We should find a world record of some kind and break it. And I think I have an idea for a cool one. And it just popped up in my head while we were talking about The Sims, and I just looked it up. This would be a really doable one for all of us and a fun one to build, get the world record for the biggest box fort. Like a cardboard box fort.
It's right over there.
I'm saying we're halfway there. I'm serious. Like we should like organize this and build it, but like turn it into a haunt.
I have
like a haunted box fort, right?
I
Like
have
for
at
charity.
least 10 big Chewy boxes in this room right now, along with smaller ones and Amazon Prime boxes. I would say in this room, if I counted up all the different cardboard boxes that I have, there are well over 25 in my
See?
living room.
We've already got 25 boxes.
Well,
But
how
we
big
should
is
build-
what's the world record for the biggest box fort?
It was like a 40 by 40 square foot fort.
That's nothing. That's my living room.
Right. So like I'm looking at this, like, and it had like pillars and arches and all this, and I'm like, but what if we do it like with like corridors and like back room style, like like cardboards, but we turn into like a pop up like one day only haunted attraction for charity. Like we get some haunters in there actually inside it, like we make a fucking cardboard fort that's also a haunt.
Well,
so it
with
gets a
enough
world
duct
record.
tape and enough cardboard, man, you can make it as big as you want.
That's what I'm saying. But we get a lot of haunters together, like haunters and like people that love haunts, like together to do it. We do it for charity. Like we sponsor the whole thing and we do the build, and we get an actual world record listing because the Guinness will certify this. I just double checked it, and we can do this, and all for charity. And we get the notoriety of Elliott creating the world record for the largest box. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
All those hard cardboard tubes, like you would stick a portfolio in, and you could use those to brace them. Brace your walls. You get some big enough boxes and use the tubes to brace the walls from the backside. I mean, you can go up
because
as high as
I've
you
seen
need to.
like
Why not make 4 by 8 panels like you would in a regular haunt?
Right. I've actually seen 10-foot versions of those tubes. We just get some post hole diggers to get like more of a support. And yeah, we're talking a lot about this, but like it's a stupid idea, but I think if not this year, then by next year we set up an event and we get the world record for the biggest box for it. But it's a haunted attraction for charity.
Oh, you
Do
could
you
have.
know
okay.
where
You know how
that comes
easy it
from?
would be. I mean, well, some retail stores they get money for this, but if you could talk to a retail store like Lowe's or Home Depot or any of those stores that make cardboard bales, you know how much cardboard they go through in just a day, and
Yeah.
they put it in their baler and then they wrap it with a wire.
We
Because
gotta
I
be
had
careful
to
though
do
because
this
there
when I
are
was working,
rules. Like there
you
are
know?
rules on what materials you can use.
I mean, if you're using
But we'll
cardboard
look
and
at
duct
those
tape,
stuff later.
but
Yeah,
I mean, that would be a
primarily
good way to get
double-sided tape. Yeah.
all of the cardboard. And sometimes they've got, just bales lined up outside waiting for the truck to come pick it up. They can load all the bales onto the truck and then it takes it
Yeah.
back to the recycling place where they make new cardboard out of it.
Yep.
But if we were able to get, maybe even pay for some of those bales just to get that cardboard, that would be like an endless supply of cardboard to make this thing from.
Well, I would think because we're gonna certifiably do it for charity that we might be able to get even more donated because it's it's gonna be for charity. Because Pyle and I've been talking a lot about like pop-up haunting experiences, like really fun, hilarious things like that. That's one of our many random conversations, and it just dawned on me: we do it with cardboard, we break a world record.
Who do we know that has a warehouse where we could actually build a thing? Because it would have to be sheltered, otherwise, if it rains, then you're screwed. But
I thought about that too. We can still do it outside with tarps.
Yes, Del?
Oh, if you had the walls looking like they're kind of like thing, you could have people hiding behind some of them for jump scares.
Yes.
That it just looks like it's part of the wall, but this one flaps.
Yes,
instead of the other window.
exactly. And the reason I got this idea is because I'm a big fan of the old school cartoon Bobby's World with Howie Mandel, and they actually did a haunted house Halloween episode where they built a haunted attraction box for that started in their house and ran all the way outside into the yard and everything. It was, for some reason, like that episode of that cartoon has always been in the forefront of my brain since my childhood. So maybe we could even get Howie Mandel to come out and be like, hey,
40 by 40 is not that big. It's only 1,600 square feet. And, most haunts, I mean, a really small haunt would maybe be like 5,000 square feet. But like what we had at Scaratorium, of course, Carnage is a different story altogether because it's two different rooms. But Scaratorium, we had two different haunts. One was about 10,000 square feet, and then our fun house was 11,000 square feet. And those are decent sized haunts. Just and they're all indoors in a 40,000 square foot facility.
Mm-hmm.
So if we had like a warehouse or something that was at least 10,000 square feet of space, we could set something up that would still blow that world record out of the water.
Oh yeah, 100%. We just have to do it in such a way that we can figure out how to fly Jenny and Del to help us build it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
they both have to come live in Columbus or Dayton for a while.
Yes. Also, Dave made a Maze vibe because I love that fucking movie. It's a brilliant movie.
I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my list.
Oh my god!
So,
it became one of my favorite movies. It's in my top 10 favorite movies ever made now. Ever since I watched it.
What were we talking about doing a pop-up book?
Oh, the pop-up book too. Yeah, he's got me wanting to do a horror pop-up book now, like for adults. Like I want to do one now. Like I'm dead set on doing this. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I'm dead set on this.
What'll happen with this was we were talking about this and that, and I told myself, why don't you do a pop-up book? The reason is my grandmother could not remember my daughter's name, so I got her a book that was The Raven. Okay? I didn't know it, but as soon as it got there, Grandma goes, oh, look, it's a pop-up book. And she had dementia. She was like, So that book came back to me. So we have a Raven pop-up book where you go and you pop it up and then you can do little things. And it's like, just think, you could pull the string and he could go.
I was just thinking about that.
A chainsaw could come up out of the book and be like,
I was thinking Art the Clown pop-up book.
Yeah. Dude, David would probably love that.
You have to have a Pennywise balloon that comes floating up.
Yes.
If you move the...
I think it would be brilliant.
I think that's copyright.
I just got to talk to Patty and figure out how to make it pop up. Oh,
well, if you're going to do a pop-up book, you can also do it like the greeting cards where they have the little diode on the inside where you can record a message. So, like when you turn the page and the balloon pops up, it could go, "Hiya, Georgie."
Or you know, you could just
Georgie.
have it go when you pull a little thing and he like tries to stab. It's like, I'm in danger.
Emotional damage.
Yeah, just pulling it up, and you're like really getting into this pop-up book, and all of a sudden, I'm in danger. Oh yeah, the Owlite made this.
Yeah. Dude, that reminds me, like,
faster.
you know how I wanted to do that that Elf on the Shelf book for adults, but like make it like from Meat Hook from Mule Lads. It's been something I've been talking about for 5 fucking years. Well, I was just talking to Matt from Wicked Effects. He can make the toy for me. So I think I'm actually gonna do it. I'm actually gonna do the whole thing now. I'm gonna talk to him about it after he gets back from transport.
Elf on the Shelf with the Jason mask?
No, it's based on the Yule Lads. There's one of the Yule Lads is named Meat Hook, and it's really fucked up. And I've had this horror story about Meat Hook for so long now. I wanted to do something with it, and I wanted to make it like a childish book, but for adults, and actually come with a toy that you can put around your house to terrify each other at Christmas.
And then he's already got like a whole bunch of different designs of elves and this.
Yeah,
and
he
that.
showed me. I'm like, yep, that's what I need.
Meat Hook on a book nook.
Yep.
And then he was like, "Oh yeah, we can do that."
So it's a lad in the past.
You know, Jen.
That's my
Friday
plan.
said something a while back. And she said, "I am so grateful to have the people in my life. I do, because they make it fun, interesting, and this is just great." Jenny, I'm using that right now. I am really glad I got a whole bunch of really fun and interesting people. And by the way, I got 2 little heads right here. Look at this. I'm gonna poke them in the ear.
I'm serious about this fucking box fort thing, though. I'm not gonna let this one go. Like, I'm fucking serious about this. Like,
okay, so do you want the box fort first and then the movie, or do you want the movie first and then the box fort? Because I don't know if you could do both at the same time.
Are you doubting
that could be the ending credits? That could be like the ending credits.
Movie first, then the box fort. Because we've got haunt season to deal with. You know what I mean? Like,
well, no. I mean, why not do both at the same time? Because you could have characters in a movie that are building the box fort.
You could lure the frogman into the box fort.
No, because listen,
the bewildered
we're going
beast.
to do this event, right? The whole time. And the only part of the movie the box fort is going to be, and it's going to be in it like for 10 seconds. We're just going to walk by, and we're going to make it seem like it's somewhere at the convention that the box fort's being made. And we're going to go, notice the box fort. The bewildered beast has been here. And then we're going to walk out of frame. Like, you're only going to see the box fort for like 7 seconds in the movie. We're going to build this whole box fort for 7 seconds, which is pretty much how our research works in writing. We research something for 10 days, and it's in a paragraph. It's like one line in a paragraph.
Oh, the Wood website.
That's totally a thing that you could do for the convention. Is like everybody bring cardboard to add to the box fort.
Yeah,
get
$1
depending
off.
on how many people you get for the convention, that thing would be freaking huge.
Mm-hmm. $3 off if you bring a box.
Right, if you bring in, a big ass box.
The convention price is just 2 boxes.
It's the hobo haunt, even though that's not a good name anymore, apparently. But
yep.
And you can't use homeless either because that's
make it so.
The unhoused haunt. Right.
I mean, people have home haunts. Why not homeless haunt?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it works.
You got errands right beside.
I could be naked except for a bathrobe at the very end with a liquor bottle, like half drunk out of my mind, and screaming at people as they walk out and just throwing trash and shit at them. That'd be terrifying.
What do they call them back in the Depression? Like Hoover?
And a helicopter the whole time,
Hey, Raz.
Yeah.
Hell's Dungeon's got a errands. They have a cardboard only dumpster.
That is true. But because of the area it's in, I assure you there's far more than cardboard in that dumpster, and you do not want anything out of it.
I'm just saying. Go to an errands. Go to an errands and tell them, We need your cardboard. It's for a fundraiser.
Oh yeah.
All your boxes belong to us.
Yep. I want refrigerator
boxes
boxes. I
belong
want.
to us.
Oh, there's an appliance store in the strip mall too, and they're really cool. We're on
There you
good
go.
terms with them. We might be able to get. Yeah, refrigerator
Fridge
boxes. Yeah,
You're
that's
like,
the jackpot. That's the
Well-
jackpot right there.
Aaron's has got them.
Yeah, we need a lot of refrigerator. That would make it the whole fort even easier just to use a bunch of fucking get as many fucking fridge boxes as we can.
washer and dryers, get the width.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Stackable for windows, you know. We have the cardboard drop panels that just operate like a little piece.
We're going to have
Put a
this
stick
thing
in there with a
almost.
lever.
We're going to have this thing almost totally built, and National Weather Service is just going to be like, "Oh, hey, you got bad weather coming."
No,
It's
that's
gone.
that Ron pointed out. That's why we get some warehouse, like temporary warehouse space, and we actually build it in the where. That way, it's I didn't. I was going to just
Okay.
build the whole thing outdoors until Ron pointed that out, and I was like, "Oh, that's actually brilliant, Ron. Thank you." Because we had to totally build this out there. It would have fallen
Okay.
apart of a tornado.
Doesn't
is
Hell's
important.
Dungeon have space? And
Not enough space for that.
Remember,
What's up, Del?
John has unlimited tape privileges.
I know. And I've already considered this, so and plus we need cool artwork on the inside of the box on the box for it, right? So
And we're going to be saving all of it. He's like, what the fuck? I can't do
Yeah.
anything without you guys.
No,
taking it."
because when we're done, the panels with his artwork, because this is the whole charity event, you pay to go through, like, it's all 100% for charity, and when we're done, the panels that have the most amazing artwork, we auction it off.
There you go.
Get a piece of history and own pieces of this box fort with art by John Chris.
John, we just volunteered you to do a shit ton of artwork for us.
Yeah. And,
All right, Friday, you've been quiet. What you got, Friday?
Do I got
do you
A?
got?
Yeah.
His art will be epic. B. Bunnies that I
Okay.
can't touch ever. I can't touch the bunnies. It makes me sad.
That's okay. They're not what they're cracked up to be.
Exactly. So yeah, I was envisioning what you can do with this box fort, especially when I figured out what we could do with pieces of ceiling that was old and making hots here
Yes.
in Georgia and Alabama. There's so many things you can do. And yeah, I was thinking about getting rained out and wondering where over there you would find a indoor space that would allow it.
Oh, there's plenty of places over here. Definitely. There's a lot of warehouse spaces and stuff that we could definitely get. There's giant chunks of buildings that literally just rent out temporary warehouse space in Dayton alone. I mean, I'm sure that's everywhere, but like Dayton has a ton of it.
yeah, but then you have to pay rent.
Well, for a temporary setup, if it's just for a few days and we can get it certified by charity, like that it's going to be charity driven. There's people we might be able to talk to get that space temporarily, as long as it's not more than like a week. We might be able to get it for free.
Well, I think it'd be a little bit more than that because you need to have somewhere to store the cardboard until you actually start building, because you would have to acquire the
That's
cardboard
true.
first.
That's
Where are
true.
you
So
going
probably
to
like
put
a
the
month.
cardboard until you start building?
Yeah, probably a month. I'd say. Yeah, about a
And
month.
it's going to
yeah.
be a lot of cardboard, so you're going to
We
need
probably
space
get space for a month.
Ask Rob if he has room up there, Pyle.
Yeah.
We were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Raz is in my sub basement. I'm in his basement.
And my basement is connected to the same exact basement space that I live in your basement, Dell, because I have the hammock and everything. So
I don't think he's
there's
home.
There's multi-dimensional travel within the basements.
So whose closet am I in?
Apparently, Rob's.
Come out of the
Because
closet.
we're all in
Jenny.
Rob's house. Dell's in the garage.
House.
Those in the garage.
I'm in the garage.
Yeah, you're in the garage.
Oh,
Where am I?
You? You're in the bathtub.
Nah, I don't like that. I mean, I do need a bath, but
Well, no,
I'm
it's
just
because you're a
saying.
pirate, and that's where your ship is, man. You have an indoor pirate ship.
okay.
It's a giant bathtub, though. I'm talking like
We are the pirates.
Pee Wee
Yep,
Herman's Big
just saying.
Adventure, like that, the giant bathtub. Yeah.
Jenny
I
has
would
a
rather
picture.
have
Whole
Dell
room
in the
bathtub.
disappointments room.
What's that?
That would be. I would rather be Dell in the disappointments room. To be honest.
Jenny has a picture of pirate.
I have
Yes.
picture of the pirate?
We are really setting ourselves up for a lot of
Guys,
stupid
pictures
shit
of
right
you with
now.
pirates?
sitting
Is
here,
that what you
man.
wanted?
Yeah,
Yes.
I posted like some pictures to the group. of
Okay, give me a
my
second.
pirate
I
gear.
don't have them on my computer.
And then we're going to build a cardboard pirate ship, and we're going to sail it down the Ohio River.
Do you sing
So-
shanties?
It won't last very long because we do a Navy regatta at work where all 4 branches of the military will make their own cardboard boats, have cardboard boat races,
Yeah.
and you're lucky if you make it across the lake before the thing just starts to sink.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I
yeah,
saw those. We one time went out to one of the lakes here to take Pop out so he could we could sit outside and he could see the boating and everything. And there were a bunch of swallows swooping around, which was always fun to watch. And they were doing the cardboard boat race thing, and there was they were trying to basically just use duct tape to waterproof it. And so this boat was mostly duct tape, and it kept falling down because they weren't really securing it.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there like, okay, well, you have to get, first of all, you'd have to get a bunch of empty soda bottles to big or milk jugs or something like that so that you could make it float and tape those onto the sides. And
There we go.
oh yeah,
That's
There's
awesome.
This part of the show is rated R.
Rated C for Shanty.
yep. Except Shanty starts with an S.
Yeah.
I know.
But so does C.
Exactly.
I got to explain what a dirge was yesterday to my mother. She'd never heard a dirge. We were talking. She was asking me why, and mom isn't dumb. She just doesn't always hear things right.
Nice.
Oh, that's a
There we
good-looking pirate right there.
That is a good looking.
Yes,
He's
very
handsome.
handsome.
I would serve him some rum.
Please do. He'll take it.
But she was asking why in Pirates of the Caribbean that they called the girl a puppet, and I was like, no, it's a poppet.
Yeah.
They're calling her. And then we moved on. Somehow we got onto the topic of dirges, and she's like, I don't know what a dirge is. I'm like, it's a funereal song. It's a very slow, sad thing. And she's like, okay. And then she gave me the opposite, and I can't remember what it was, but it was another fanciful word for a very light-hearted tune.
Did you know that another term for grunge is a blues dirge?
No, but that absolutely makes sense.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
Of course, leave it up to me to know something like that, but
Unlike my music, which I call scrunge, or shitty, crappy grunge.
Oh, I still need to listen to your song.
It's
I've been distracted lately by everything. I'm like,
me too.
Scrolling everywhere.
You're not missing much.
I'm
What are you
trying to
doing,
hide
Doug?
from like
Horrible
fucking
singing.
wand wielding frogmen right now. Like I'm checking like everywhere I go in the house. I'm like, okay, I'm close enough to level that this could be a problem.
He wants to impregnate you with pollywogs with his magic wand.
Apparently, and like I'm terrified that that's going to happen because I'm like less than an hour from there, and the little Miami goes pretty far, and it's not all that far from where I am. Like part of it, so like I could wake up with like a frogman over me, just going to
Gonna have to
town.
go down to
coming out
Holmes
your
Lake
ass.
and see if I can find the Holmes Lake fishman. Fishman, I guess he's a fishman, not a fishman. But it's so weird. It's a Reddit thing for Lincoln, but they were like, somebody was just like, dude, did anybody else see the fishman the other night at Holmes Lake? When I was there, he just was a fish, but he was walking, and he came out of the trees, and then he just walked into the lake. Did you guys see that? And everybody's like, no, dude, what are you on? But there have been multiple sightings since then. Like, some people joke about the fish man, but there have been multiple sightings with people who are in all serious are posting about the fish man. So
We have something similar in Park Lane. It's Park Lane and Camp Crystal and the Crystal Lake area in Ohio. It's called Schwampy. He's a guy. He just shows up. He walks out of the water, does stuff, and then he just walks right back in. That's it. and he's got like moss growing on. He's not like quite like moss level like Swamp Thing. He's like Swamp Thing Junior kind of, which is what they call him, Swampy. But yeah, Swampy is a thing.
Out of all the things in Nebraska, you wouldn't expect a fish man.
I would
You know,
not.
like a corn something or other, or
Or
you know,
Wind
something
Man.
with cows, but not a fish.
Yeah.
We aren't known for our fish.
Yeah.
But
What-
you know,
yeah.
you get what you get that decides to settle there. And I guess if your home is grown and mowed down every year, it's hard to establish yourself.
Yeah.
Me and Raz are thinking about finding all the information on the Beast of Bosco.
Oh yeah. Maybe because they do a festival and stuff out there. We were talking about different festivals, like road trips. We can take the different cryptid festivals.
And Raz is like, "Oh yeah, this one is in Wisconsin. We'll see you there." And I'm like,
Are we going to Wisconsin?
Who's driving that one?
No one, because we're not going. It's too fucking far.
We were looking it up. I was like, dude, that's 9 hours away.
I'm like, yep. I was like, Dell's only 7.5.
Are you calling Dell a cryptid?
No. Just says she's only 7.5 hours away.
I was an urban legend for a while.
I don't think Jenny's much farther than that either.
Oh, Raz, you know what we didn't talk about? We did not talk about the cards.
MetaZoo.
Yeah.
I think I have one of those cards over here. Talk to him about it while I look for this card.
So what MetaZoo is, it is a game that is kind of like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or this and that, but it is done with cryptids. And they had it really going really well, and then all of a sudden they wanted to boost this up and make it look really, really super big, but they blew their entire budget, and then all of a sudden they're like, we're shutting it down. The terrible thing is, my son absolutely thought it was a cool game. So I went here, was like, oh, I know what this is, this and that. But we talked to the guy, and he said it is actually owned by two people. One person says, it's done, it's over with, we need to cut our losses and run. The other person says, I don't think so. We need to make this work and this and that, and it's still going to go. So the guy that was one of the marketing people was there, and we talked to him and said, would you be possibly willing to do a show with us? Just because these are actually really cool cards.
I found it.
Absolutely.
This is one of the foils. It's the Chibi Jackalope. It's going to be hard to see this in the yeah. There you go. The Chibi Jackalope.
Ooh,
and this game is a combination of, like, if you remember Magic Unglued, which I know some of us here do, it's like Magic Unglued meets Pokemon, because instead of tapping mana, you contract auras in order to activate the powers, but they have these meta things like Magic Unglued. Like, there was the confetti card in Magic Unglued where you had to rip up the card and throw it, and whatever cards the confetti touch, it was out. But those are signified by stars, like the Chibi Jackalope card, for example. If you are the guardian of a child, you get to play this card for free. Like, in real life, if you're the guardian of a child, you get to play this card for free. Like, there's all.
Like you're the guardian of the woods.
There you go. But there's all kinds of cool little, like, this little meta aspects of this game, plus, you know, the normal part of the game. Like, it's brilliantly done because they have different sets, like much like more like Magic does. They've got like the Native American series. They've got the cryptids. They had the Alien series. Like, so they had all these really cool different little sets that you get. Like, they had pre-made decks, boosters. I think Pyle got like 7 or 8 booster packs that day that we were sitting and opening some of.
We opened 3 and the rest are for Jaden.
But it was really cool, man. Like, this is a really cool game. Like, I could see myself like really actually getting into this and playing it with people.
He was actually talking about this game does not just. It doesn't
I
just
can't show that. It's
do.
too shiny. I can try. Yep, MetaZoo.
There it is.
There you go.
So this game, and I hope that they find a way to redo it and bring it to a new light here, because this game is okay. If you play the game at night, this is a whole different game than playing it during the day. Just because if you play it during the night, you can use all your night cryptids.
Oh yeah, without having to pay the contract auras.
Right.
If you're playing the game in real life at night, those are just free to play, and you have to actually play the daylight auras for daylight creatures, and vice versa.
Right.
Like they went that meta into it.
Like there's even a thunderstorm. If there's a thunderstorm while you're playing this, then you can use this entire unlocks.
Yeah, the Thunderbird card, for example, it gets bonuses if you play it during a thunderstorm.
Nice.
Right. And that was the cool thing, because we got one of the cards that we got was actually the Thunderbirds.
Yep. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm being Go ahead, finish.
Plug it back.
No, that was it. It's just a really cool, unique game that, like, it may be done with and out of print. There may be still life in it, but like, if there's any way that we can promote it and like help it not go under, like that would be amazing, man. It's just a really cool game.
And speaking of promoting cryptids, what I was going to say is I'm just going to share in the comments here real quick. Grant Lankard's
yes.
League of Cryptids is now fully funded, but there's still 21 days to go. And so now we're building up all of the stretch goals, man.
Dude, congratulations, Grant. That is amazing. I wasn't there, like, present for the show that you were on of ours, but like I've seen the episode. I've been following this pretty closely. Like, I'm really excited that this got funded.
Yeah, and it's $5 for the digital, $7 gets you a standard version of the book. So that's awesome.
That's pennies.
And then all the extra stuff that you can do. There's Chrome stuff. There's it. Yeah, it looks great. So gotta check that out, guys.
This was the League of Cryptids, right?
Yep.
Okay.
You were on that show.
Yeah, I was on that show, and I remember because he's like, and this is probably the part that you're going to be kind of upset at me at, because I was like, no, this is the best part. We all look at these things like at the Frogman Festival. One of the pictures of the Frogman was actually in a space costume that looked like a frog. It was an alien in a space costume.
There were so many different interpretations of what, like, which is why, by the way, the whole Bewildered Beast joke is that like everybody at the con is gonna have like a casting of its foot. It's gonna like be like different, it's different shit. Because like in the cryptid world, like so many people have different interpretations of what every cryptid does or looks like, and
yeah, there was a guy with a respirator and hoses and a tank, and he was painted up green and this and that, and he was like a totally different frogman than I would ever have seen.
Yeah.
It was like a toxic waste frogman in my
it was really
opinion.
cool. Yeah,
it was cool.
Yeah, this the stretch goals here. Let's see where we're at on. It's $27.92 out of the $2,000 goal, so that part is done. Wow. They've got the first stretch goal already done, which was at $2,500. They're going to do the extra pinup in the deluxe edition. At $3,000, a digital copy of Astonishing Tales. $3,500 is a Chupacabra trading card. $4,000 is a Loveland Frogs trading card. $42.50 is a small League of Cryptids sticker and an extra pinup in the deluxe edition. $4,500 is a Sasquatch trading card. $47.50 digital wallpaper. $5,000 gets us a large League of Cryptids stickers and an extra pinup again in the deluxe edition. $5,500 is a League of Cryptids bookmark and an extra pinup in the deluxe edition. And then if they get up to $6,000, which, like I said, there's still 21 days and we've already breached $2,500. Get a Loch Ness Monster trading card. So, yeah, and the characters are the Sasquatch, Nessa, the Loch Ness Monster, Mothman, the Jersey Devil, and Chupacabra. But the first issue is Frogs Go to Loveland. So,
That's so awesome, dude.
Friday, you're a new cryptid, right? Because your hair is amazing. The way that you're fitting into that picture. Did you do that on purpose?
I think she's wearing a hat.
No. The hair, man. Like, it's surrounding her.
The hair. She's got wings. Look at that. She looks like a whole bunch of whole bunch of colors got in a paintbrush and just splattered her.
Perfect.
That is awesome.
That is perfect placement.
Perfect.
That's well done.
I'm just sitting on her shoulder there,
Kudos.
like, hey, how's it going? Just
Kudos to
cheer.
you. And the
Okay.
owl even looks like it's just perched right on her screen.
I know.
We just hit 3 hours, guys.
Oh shit, yeah.
5
Yeah.
after midnight.
We're having one of those nights where we can just talk for like 20 hours, but we probably should not do that to you guys again. It's been a while since we had a long show, and I think this one's already gone on pretty fucking long.
Yeah, because I'm probably going to be a cryptid in the morning when I have to go to work.
I mean, we're not committed to a movie. We're
We're not.
committed to a bot sport world record with a
Zug
Han.
Zug. Zug Zug.
We're getting into some shit here now.
Zug Zug. Zug Zug. Zug Zug. Me not that kind of orc.
Lies. You are that kind of work.
Oh, yeah.
You're the one carrot. No, I'm going to stop with that. That's just terrifying.
Dude, you need to get uwu.
Oh, shit. No, there is.
Oh, God,
no. There's one more thing not attached to Uwu that I have to tell you before we go. I have to, I promised. I scared the fucking shit out of myself the other day to the point where, like, while I was freaking out, I was messaging you guys about it.
Yeah, what happened with that?
So we're at the Airbnb. I get dropped. Me and Michelle hang out by ourselves for like hours, and then she had to go drive from Cincinnati all the way back to Dayton to grab Brooke to bring her back and to get Matt in Middletown and bring them back too. So I'm at the Airbnb by myself. Great place, right in Cincinnati over the Rhine by the Philly Market, like in a downtown area, right? Plenty of people, nothing to worry about, you'd think. So I'm chilling, you know. Finally got a nice bath and I'm all relaxed. I decided I'm gonna go lay in bed and listen to some No Sleep in this dark room and enjoy myself, you know, and I start reading some Dresden Files for a little while and I'm listening to the stories and I just pass out apparently. I wake up because of something really big, like a foot taller than, probably than the bed I'm laying on, smacks into the side of the bed. And I'm like, I get up, I'm kind of like out of it. And the door starts shaking in its frame. And then again, I see this, like, you know, a darker shadow because it's a dark room. My eyes adjust really well to the dark. I see it come around to my side of the bed and just hit the side of the bed and just go. And then it's gone. And then the door frame starts rattling again. And then I get a call from Michelle. And I don't even really remember what the phone call was about because I was still kind of out of it when it was happening. So I'm freaking out about it. Like I'm trying to have like a serious conversation because something has gone wrong and she needs help figuring something out, and I'm useless because I'm half asleep, trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm like shaking. I finally get off the phone with her, and then all of a sudden the door shakes again, and there just happens to be this story that's playing on the No Sleep podcast, and I'm listening to it in season 15, I think it was episode 12 or 13, where there's this couple being terrorized by something in their house, and it's shaking the fucking door in the frame, and a giant hand reaches up underneath the door, and that part is now playing, and I'm in the dark alone again because I'm not on the phone, and the door frame shakes. That shadow, wherever the fuck it was, hits the bed. I'm awake enough to experience what's going on, so I got up and I said, "Fuck that!" as loud as I could. I walked over to the door where the light switch is, turned on the light switch, and just fucking opened the door and ran out into the hall, like looking around everywhere. Then I go, and I didn't tear the place apart, but I'm looking in every fucking closet, behind every curtain. I'm trying to like figure out what the fuck is going on. And then there's just nothing, just dead silence, which is weird because this apartment, you know, it's got thin walls and it's downtown in the evening, like, but suddenly it's just dead silent here and it shouldn't be. And then I get a really bad feeling. I'm like, you know what? I'm awake. I don't want to go out on the patio to smoke, but we're allowed to smoke in the bathrooms here. So I'm like, fuck this. I grab a pack of cigarettes. I go in the bathroom. I start messaging them to figure out where they are. And I'm calling them like, can somebody call me because there's something fucking going on and I don't want to go back out into the rest of the place right now. Like I was legitimately like trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. And then I'm talking to them, and right at the end of this conversation, I hear, yeah, like this weird fucking sound, and like it sounds like a scream and all this shit. And the story was that something happened and the phone dropped. Michelle just sent me a fucking message and told me Brooklyn did that on purpose. Like she just sent me this message. So apparently Brooklyn was trying to prank me because that kind of freaked me out more. And that is like right when I started messaging you guys in the group to tell you kind of what was going on, that I was freaking out. And I was still in that bathroom by myself for another 45 fucking minutes.
You never updated. We're like, Raz is dead in the bathroom. Okay.
No, I survived it clearly. but then that night, that Michelle was asleep. I woke up. I just woke up for no fucking reason. And it was probably like 5 a.m. No. Friday into Saturday. Yeah, that night after they came back, it happened again. The same thing, the same shadow, about the same size, on 4 legs, whatever it was. It smacked into the side of the bed again. And I woke up and I saw it, and it hit the bed again, and then it was just gone. And then I didn't figure out what it was. And then the last night we were there, it happened again at like just before 5 a.m. But that time I did it a couple times while I was waking up, and it freaked me out again so bad that I went back to the bathroom. I took like a fucking 3-hour bath until everybody woke up and we left for the day. No idea what this was.
Shadow
like,
dog following you.
That's what it was like. It was like a really big fucking dog. That's kind of what it was shaped like ish.
You saw the black dog.
Yeah, I mean the black dog in the dark. So it's hard to tell. But it was the weirdest fucking thing. I still have no idea what the fuck it was. All I can figure out is that it was the spirit of a dog. Like, I don't know what it was, man. But it was fucking weird as shit.
So
you're uncrypted.
I feel like I need to send you, because I don't think I did ever send you what I called Grim, because that is in Grim.
Yep.
Friday. It is in Grim, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's so messed up.
Dude, that was my weird experience. Because you don't have to have a weird experience anywhere I go and stay. But like, I did not even choose a place that was haunted or near a cryptid. Like, we just chose a normal place on Airbnb this time. The Airbnb was gorgeous, by the way. It was very nice, very comfortable, but apparently haunted by some kind of crazy dog, or I don't know what the fuck it is. Don't know what the fuck it was. And it was all hardwood floors, and you couldn't hear anything walk across the floor. There was no sound. So that was even fucking weirder.
Okay.
Yeah,
that sounds like a trip with you.
Yeah, it was fucking odd, man.
So on a completely separate topic that has absolutely nothing to do with shadow dogs bumping into your bed at night, things that go bump in the night. Pyle mentioned uwu, and I was over at my friend Angel's a couple of days ago, and somehow we got on that topic of uwu. Like, I cannot stand uwu. I can't stand it. And she tried to do it, because like you're supposed to do it like with the whole, the finger touching thing and the cross-eyed look or whatever. Like I was cracking myself up so bad. I'd laugh for like 15 minutes straight because I was trying to replicate this. And she was actually taking a video of me. So there is video of me trying to attempt this and laughing my fool ass off. I don't know if she still has the video.
Yeah, find out because we need this video.
Because it's fucking hilarious. I was like,
Del, go to a search engine and type in
I was trying so hard to make it happen, to get the uwu. I
turn off your save search.
But it was rough.
Turn off your save search.
I don't have my save search on.
No, I know you don't. I'm just fucking with you.
Okay, I've
writers
seen that
don't turn on
emoji
save
before.
search.
I just don't know what the hell it's supposed to be. It's just cute.
So
originally it was a fucked up furry
thing.
thing. Originally it was a furry thing.
Furry thing?
So
it was a furry thing initially.
There is a airsoft gun that they make, and it's called the uwu. And it's hilarious because when you load it, it goes every time you load it in a new magazine. Then when you go and you shoot it, every time it shoots, it goes ooh woo, ooh woo. So you're like automatically shooting this thing and it's going ooh. But that is not the reason. I just think it's hilarious. And now I would like to get that gun to Ron. That way he could do his ooh woo and shoot the gun while he's doing it.
Okay, so on Urban Dictionary, uwu is defined in the second definition with almost 17,000 upvotes A texting emoticon used to show cuteness, but also is sin to the internet world. It is basically banned worldwide, never used in any circumstances unless you want to be attacked. Examples. Person 1. Today's such a great day. Ooh. Person 2. Get him.
Yeah. So if you look at Uwu, right, like the way it is, it looks like the W or fangs. It started out as like a sexual furry thing. Like when you
Yeah.
find like someone attractive, like in the furry world, you say Uwu, and then it got adopted by anime into something completely different.
Ooh is the closed eyes version of Owo. If you use this, the furries will name you furry leader, and normal people will try to destroy you. You'll also be called a weeb or a weebo.
Yep. It's a derivative of that, but it's the sexual. When you see another furry and like you wanted to get on, ooh. Yeah, that's how it was described to me before it got before it found its way into anime. That's how it was described to me from an old friend of mine that's a furry.
Yeah, and
and so many people are using this term and having no idea what its roots are. And every time I hear it, I'm like,
Belle's totally amused here. I can tell by the look on her face.
It's like one of those that word does not mean what you think it means kind of situations. Or term, I guess. Word, term.
One of them describes OO as terminal brain cancer.
What?
Yeah. A face furries use, or a way to make a face you can use for your art. Example, the O's are like eyes and the W is to make it cute. Like, looks like a cat. Oh, what's this?
It's the eyes and the teeth, man.
What the fuck does that have to do with terminal brain cancer, though? That makes sense.
Well, that's Urban Dictionary is all people putting in their own
random shit.
of it. So they're like, that's like it will get you attacked if you use it. People are like,
they're equating it to terminal brain cancer, like the term. I think is what they mean there.
That's dumb. Zero fucks given.
What the hell?
But yeah, now you're gonna go on the ooh rabbit hole.
A one-of-a-kind typical phrase when a 50-year-old fatty pat Discord mod tries to be a chibi Neko girl for the 69th time on Discord.
I don't know what 50% of what you just said. I'm not gonna lie.
No, that sounds like it was a personal attack against somebody that had an experience. That's what that sounds like.
We need to get a button that's like emotional damage.
Right? We do. We need it. You need to record you saying it, and I'll turn it into like a wave that we can upload at some point.
Oh my gosh!
What, Uwu?
No, his emotional damage. The way he says it.
Emotional damage.
Yep.
That's from Stephen He on YouTube.
It is
a sign used by a cult.
What?
I mean, also true. All furries are a cult.
It is recommended you try to escape the users of the word uwu at all costs.
You know, like we used to have a furry problem in the horror con world. Like you could not have a horror convention ever with like halfway through, like you knew things were about to get out of hand because like a group of 20 or more furries would just show up at the convention. And it was a thing for a while until literally it became to the point where like people were running off furries from the horror conventions. It was a furry epidemic, and this went on for almost a decade in the horror convention world.
When you're on a Discord chat and you don't know what you can type, so you type uwu for no reason, and then someone replies with an uwu.
I guess it happens.
Yep.
I'm gonna do that on the Owlite Discord right now.
Do it. See what
Often
happens.
used by uwu gamer girls trying to get simps on Discord.
You gotta put it in Gen Chat so everybody sees it too, though.
You remember how we said we were going to stop at the 3 hour?
Live.
If we go down this rabbit hole, we will get that 7 hour.
A word used by many demons to sound cute, but they are really just sucking up to you and are planning to kill you. Girl, ooh, guy, stay away. This one is ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Did it work, Ron?
Yeah, I see it.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ew! By shit, stop using my names.
Okay, so if you guys are in the Allied Discord, fucking get in here because, like, seriously, he just put ooh in there and I just responded back with ooh. But, like, the picture I used afterwards was Richard Brake from 31.
A synonym for cancer. Turns out I got ooh again.
I'm pretty sure ooh is an STD.
An overwhelming feeling of love, like having an orgasm full of softness.
An orgasm full of softness.
Okay.
Oh my god, that's when you make love to a stuffed animal, isn't it?
All right, Jenny, you're too quiet. We want to hear your best ooh-woo.
Oh, I can't even read this one.
Really?
We want to hear your best. That was good, Jenny. That was good.
I am like, this is only the second time we've ever done a show where I'm laughing so hard I'm fucking crying and my face is hurting. Shit. Yeah, we're sending terrible things to each other in the general chat in the Allied Army, so like you guys are missing it.
Ooh,
You're missing
Yeah, I
it.
don't want that gun.
There's something called dumbass syndrome. It's when your brain goes mental and can go straight. Hi, what's your name? Ooh, I'm fine. Ooh, by Chinese butthole.
Where the fuck did you find an eggplant?
I just responded to Ron and Jen chat with an eggplant. While she's telling us all these terrible things about ooh, we're like being really inappropriate.
And
there
there's
we
that.
go, the crow. You know what? You know what? Mini rant. Stop fucking being negative about the crow. Stop it.
Yeah.
Number one, it's going to be closer to the source material. We love the Brandon Lee Crow. It deviated heavily from the source material. 2, Bill Skarsgård. Name one fucking thing that he wasn't amazing in. He's earned our respect enough to trust him that he's bringing something to this role that we haven't seen yet. So let's hold off on all our negativity and our hate from people that deserve better, and let's watch it first. And if it sucks, we'll tear it apart. But until then, fuck up.
Back to ooh.
I'm curious. I want to see what they do with it.
And people are like going nuts about that look. Look at Post Malone. What does he look like? He's got face tattoo. He's got things everywhere, and that's the look right now. Like, there's a lot of artists that have the tattoos like that are tatted up everywhere. So like, people are hitting that hard, and they got to modernize it too. Because if we make a crow that's still is set in the '90s, then
my goal is not to make fun of it. I just thought this was cool when Des
No,
shared
that is
it.
fucking awesome. No, that just reminded me of the rant. That particular one, though, I fucking love because I love Crow from Mystery Science.
This is still my favorite crow.
Try.
I thought that was a raven.
No, that was a crow.
No. If it's a raven, it's Daddy, can I have a popsicle?
That's true. No, honey. Go ask Chip Dip.
How do some of these people
I call
up with
April Chip
these?
Dip.
Oh my gosh. She was absolutely like, I don't understand this. Did you explain it to her?
No, because I friended her, and I don't think she's accepted my friend request yet.
I'll have to show her that she's got one.
Yes, I have friend
That's
requested
where
her.
you'll have to message her.
Yeah, I friend requested her so I could explain Chip Dip, but I have to wait
Sit,
for
Uwu, sit.
Good
Good
wolf. Yeah, I see you found the eggplant, sir.
Say hi. Say hi.
Aw.
There we go.
We better go before we get banned on Facebook and Discord.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be a good idea.
Everybody, all at once, say bye.
Ready?
Okay, everybody, say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Buenos nachos.